Mariah Sanctuary. I'm Mariah. I always love my Monday streams. They make me happy. They just do. I know it's probably like weird, but it's just part of being Mariah, I guess. Things that most people probably don't get excited about. I get excited about. Mm. I hope nothing happens with the chat today. I hope the chat doesn't like have any technical issues because I know that has happened last stream. Hopefully, it doesn't happen this stream, this week's stream too. Oh, weekend was good. I'm just tired. But I guess that's part of being a person that doesn't get quality sleep. How was your weekend? Oh yeah, and also I watched that was it last week? I'm trying to think. I think it was last week. I watched oh hi Mildred. I watched that series what's it called? Paradise. It's actually really good. It's a Hulu original. I like it. Um and caught up on the show Doc, which I wasn't too far behind. The Rookie is good. Trying to figure out if I want what I want to watch this week. I want to catch up on things that are old. Well, actually, I've caught up on everything that's current, so probably just go back to things that are older. You said your energy levels are low. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm glad you had a good weekend though. Uh, Watching. I'm not sure if I like the show Sisters yet. I started watching it. It's an okay show. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of stereotypical, but I don't know. That's just a personal thought. Yeah, I really like that show. It's very interesting. It's an interesting viewpoint of. I've never thought of a show like that. Like the concept is interesting. It's kind of sad actually. The show Paradise is very. I'm not gonna give it away because people might want to see it, and then they're like, "Mariah, you told me what it's about." Like, so no, I don't want to do that because like I feel bad because I already kind of told Nick what the other show that me and Mildred and him watched. Well, I told him about the show. It was called Only Murders in the Building. Oh, hello. Um, yeah, that I don't know. I feel like Paradise is a really good show, but I feel like it's trying. I feel like it. There's something still we're trying to discover through the episodes I've seen already. I'm like, this is like it's almost like one of my shows that I watch. I should say, a show I watched in the past where because I watch a lot of mystery shows and shows that like have plots where the mystery is like you think it's one thing, then it's actually another thing. Kind of like Only Murders in the Building and Pretty Little Liars. Well, Pretty Little Liars is no longer on air, but it reminds me of that. So like it reminds me of you thinking it's somebody, but it's not that person. Oh, sorry, I meant to say hi, Ben. My bad. Um, but yeah, so I feel like I don't know where this is gonna go because I felt like I thought in Paradise it was one character, but it wasn't that character, and I'm like, what the mess is this mess? Like I thought it was this one character because one of the side characters was kind of saying, "Oh, yeah, this person is dangerous." So I kind of was like, "Yeah, maybe it's that character," but I don't. Yeah, now I know it's not that character because the character is dead, so it couldn't have possibly been. And the story is leading in a different direction than I ever actually thought it would. I can't tell you details because if you guys want to watch the show Paradise, you're going to be like, "What the heck, Mariah? You told me everything, so I don't need to watch the show now." Um, I don't know what kind of show I would say Paradise is. It's like I guess I don't even know. Is it considered a? I'm not sure if it's similar to Scandal because it's like based on a presidential thing, but then it's like goes into this deeper thing where it's kind of maybe scientifical and sci-fi-ish, and it's like a mix of things. I don't even know how to explain it. If you look it up, you'll see what I'm talking about. I don't know. I feel like the person who did the crime is it's not gonna be who you think it is, because I thought it was someone else. Then now completely ever since I've seen all the episodes, I'm like, maybe it's not who I think. Um, and I'm like, and definitely what I saw most recent episode, I was kind of shocked by what I saw. Yeah, see, you see what I'm saying? See, that's why I didn't know how to describe it, because it's not based on a typical thing I've ever seen. And when I first saw the trailer, I was like, this looks really interesting. I saw a trailer on Hulu, and I was like, yeah, I definitely want to mark this, so I want to watch it, because it looked very interesting. And because you normally don't see based on the context of the show, you don't normally see the side of the workers. Like, it's not based on the president, it's based on like the Secret Service agents, and it's like kind of like intensely like you hear the backstory and everything, and it's like go flashback and then back into the present, and like what happened before they went into that environment. It's like a whole thing. Like, it was really intense. It was actually quite interesting, if I'm being honest. When I first saw it, I was like, maybe this is not going to be that interesting. But then I was like, it's like a binge-worthy series, and I think internationally, I think this is on Disney Plus, but I know in the U.S., I believe it's just on Hulu. And I like that sometimes. I like when I see series that are specific to Hulu, that are only on there, and because that means you can't get it. Yeah, I like shows with suspense. I do. I don't like shows that are very predictable. I hate that crap. Probably why I can't get into some series, because it's too predictable. Like now, like probably why I don't really like Lifetime like I used to, because everything is so predictable. You can just figure it out in the first like 20 or 30 minutes of the movie, which makes you basically have to like you basically know the whole storyline, because they keep repeating the same one. Like back when I was a kid, and even in the early 2000s, the storylines weren't that predictable, so you would think it's something, but it's actually not that person. And sorry for that loud car. Yeah, I probably would like that, but I don't know if I can watch it. Remember, because you told me it was on a. I think I looked it up and I couldn't get access to it. If I remember. For your honor. I think I looked it up. I think it the one of the lead characters was like Brian. What's his name? The guy from Malcolm in the Middle. The father. I forgot his name. Cranston, is that his last name? It might be on the. It might be. Thank you. You knew what I was talking about. I couldn't think of the last name for a second. Yeah. But I need to finish watching Malcolm in the Middle, by the way. I need to, because I was rewatching it. I watched parts of the series when it was on air, watched parts of it when it reran, but I didn't never watched it. I don't think I really watched the whole series entirely, because let's be honest, at certain points in my life I was bored and I was like, this isn't boring. But now I guess as an adult it's different. I don't really know if my brain like matured some or something. Why I think it's funny now. Also maybe because I can probably relate more to it, because a lot of the stuff was more. I don't know. I feel like maybe when I was watching it, I didn't really grasp it because it was more mature than what I thought. That's what I thought. I was watching before I came on here. I was watching a movie. Before that, I was watching Burning Mac, which I like that show. It's funny, and I like humor when it's simplistic because I can understand it. If it's too read between the lines, I don't get things. So yeah, you said it's on Hulu for you, but you watched it on Netflix. Um, it also might be on the live version of Hulu. I don't have the live version. I have the one with ads because that's too expensive. So yeah. Oh, hello. Havana. I think say your name. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. That's a nice name. Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, I'm still looking for three moderators, but I'm not gonna pick anyone that's new because I had problems with that last time, and I'm not having another problem that happened. Oh, like the other stream, which Nick knows about, and actually, I don't think Mildred was in this one, but I'm not doing having that happen again. So, And if you want to be a new moderator, you need to tell me why, and not on here under this poll I made for if you want to be a new live stream. It's from last week, I think it was last Monday. So you have to scroll down on the community tab, and you need to tell me why. Because if you put yes and don't tell me why, I can't put you as a moderator because I don't know why. Because I already have one new moderator, I would like 3 more. Because sometimes this channel gets bombarded with trolls on here. And so, yeah. You were going to mention that you're happy to be a temporary moderator. Ah, that's nice. That's really cool, Nick. I appreciate you telling me that. Okay. Thinking. I'm very curious to see when the channel gets to 1280 so I can put the poll up for the options for deciding what we're going to do for getting to 1,300 subscribers. But we have to wait till we get there. We're not there yet. So that's either probably going to be, I don't know, it could be by the end of the month or it could be by the beginning of March. We'll just have to see what happens. I don't know. Anything can happen in the next 11 days. Which is crazy that this month is ending in 11 days. But, yeah. Also, I have a poll currently up for a new true crime. I don't know. I really hate true crime doing sometimes, only because of the case that I'm doing is making me mad. They're doing this true crime case on this person that I really not like to mention right now because when I think about the story, it makes me mad. I asked the community which article they would rather me use for this topic. Yeah. So right now it looks like the one I want is in the lead, but we'll see how it ends. I don't like doing true crime only because it's taxing on me. I feel bad for the victim, but it's taxing on my body because I feel the emotions that I don't know. I feel like I feel the same experiences the family goes through, which is very taxing. I just I also hate doing true crime cases where I feel like the victim did not get justice or the person that perpetrator got off easy, which pisses me off like hell. Like, oh, I've done it several cases where the perpetrator got off, and also there are some I've done where the people have been falsely accused, which pissed me off even more. Like this particular one pisses me off because it's about consent, and I don't like when a person's consent is not even considered. It just pisses me off really bad. So that's one reason. Which is why I don't like doing live streams of them, but I'm only doing this in a live stream because I feel like it's easier than a video. It's harder to imagine, unfortunately, which means my raw anger might be on the live stream when I do this case, which is not always good. Yeah, but that's part of it. Yeah. And also, I've always hate I feel bad when I feel bad when people have like family members come on the channel and tell me like that was their family member. I literally feel bad because I don't know what to say to them. I feel bad. I say I'm sorry for your loss and everything, or sorry for the person, but I literally, because I feel like sorry is not good enough, is why I say I don't always know what to say. I mean, so far I haven't had any victims, any person's family member who's been a victim come on there and feel like they've been vilified or anything. Thank God. That's the one thing I do worry about because I've seen people who do true crime constantly, like actually have a true crime channel, and some people will be very heartless to these victims. Like some people will say, if she didn't do this or he didn't do this, this wouldn't have happened. Like, what's the purpose of doing that? It's not going to bring the person's loved one back. All you're doing is basically subjecting the victim's family or loved ones through harassment for no necessary reason. I don't quite understand it. Like, because I watch so much true crime, I've seen all different vanity points of things like that. So I'm like, okay. I try when I do my true crime, especially if I get confirmation from the family, which I haven't got on this case. I have on past true crime things I've done. I have gotten permission from family members to do it. Like, there was this one little girl I did, this one guy from this area that I covered. I got his father's permission. I don't know whatever. I don't know. I'm not certain like what the cause of his actual death was. I don't know that. And I don't really want to look it up because I feel like that case like drew a lot of my sadness from me because it was very close to where I live. It's in the same community, so that one was like really hard to do. I really wish I could get permission from this person's family, but then at the same time, I'm concerned that they may think, because I know Netflix did a documentary on their son and their and the harm this lady did. Like they may think I'm exploiting this, but I'm not. I only wanted to talk about it because someone suggested this topic to me, even though I really don't like doing essay cases. I've never done one on this channel. I'm literally terrified to do one because people can be evil and really some people can be very evil and wicked. Saying people like particularly people that are vulnerable. And I say this because the guy who this happened to is mentally disabled, so he could not consent, and he has the capacity, based on what I read, capacity of a toddler, which makes me even more pissed that this happened. And so I don't want the family in any regard to think that I'm trying to exploit what pain they went through and their family member went through because I'm talking about him and sorry, talking about what the lady did to him, which is disgusting. When I was reading that, I was really mad. I was like, let me see. I was like, glad that I couldn't reach myself through the screen because I probably would have strangled the lady, which wouldn't be my fault because that's how mad I got. This is why I'm saying my anger is a justifiable anger in my opinion, because there are three groups I don't like being messed with, and that's one of them. The disabled is one of the groups I do not like being messed with. I don't care of whatever age you are in this group, it doesn't matter to me. Because he's already vulnerable, and it made me really angry reading that. Because, like, I was just thinking, if I was his mom, I would feel like, what the heck? I trusted, because she trusted that person at one point. That's what makes it worse. She trusted this person. The guy also is non-verbal, which makes me even more pissed, because if something has happened to him, he can't physically verbalize it. And the method she was teaching him, this lady who ended up essaying him, was teaching him to use a computer. And I don't know if you ever grasped it. That's not the point. The point is there was no way for him to verbalize anything, like say stop, any physical words. Like, that just makes me really mad. Like, I don't even know what to say to that. Like, I don't know. It's gonna be hard for me to, honestly, it's gonna be hard for me to detach myself from the case. That every case I cover, or to be honest, any kind of content I cover, regardless if it's a true crime, any kind of disability, or any kind of content I do on the channel, it's very personal to me. I think it's also probably because I'm a human being. Like, most human beings actually have a darn heart, would actually have a problem with what this person did. Especially, I don't even know. I do wonder how the family felt about that being someone they trusted, and then she turned around and did this to their loved one. Because I can't imagine. I probably would have been in the jail. That's probably what I would have been in the jail, because I probably would try to harm her for doing that. Oh, hello. But yeah. So that one is supposed to, that case I'm covering that on March 15th. I don't know how I feel. My head like actually hurts thinking about it, and I think I gave myself a headache because I got mad. I'm so mad at the moment. Well, I appreciate that you said that. Yeah, I try. I've had like only one person I've ever had. There was only one person I've ever had insult me when it came to a case, but I didn't realize that this is back before I knew that this person knew this person. I didn't know they knew the person I was covering. I felt kind of bad about that. But I did not do that case to make light of anything. I don't try. I was be honest. When I do any kind of true crime case, even though I don't do a comment always often on this channel, I don't do it to try to make anyone that knew the person feel worse than they did with like before. Like for example, they knew the person when they're alive, and then of course they're grieving. I would never try to exploit someone's grief. That wasn't what I mean. Uh, so yeah. Um, I don't know. I just feel like people don't always. I think most people don't always understand my intentions to things, which I'm not surprised by, honestly. I don't know if it's because they don't want to see the intentions I have, which typically I know for all everything I do, I don't normally have bad intentions when it comes to doing it. People may view it as Mariah, you have bad intentions, which I don't. I actually have really good intentions, like doing this true crime case, even though it's going to be very hard for me to do. I have good intentions behind it. I mean, I want people to be aware. Also, I want them to be aware about this person who was considered an SO, which I'm not gonna say out. I'm not saying what that stands for because then they're gonna be like, Mariah, you said something, and then they're gonna be like, this YouTube's gonna take it down because YouTube is irritating with how they do things here. Um, because I've had like family members of different cases. I've had them say, "Oh, this is my uncle. This is my." I remember the lady who was felt insulted by what I said, even though I was insulting anybody. I was just having pronunciation issues, and she didn't know that I had disabilities or whatever. She was being rude there. She was like, "My friend, this is my son's friend, like." And how dare you talk about him like that? But I wasn't even talking about him in any disrespectful way. I was just covering a case that had just like, I think honestly, she probably was talking from her grief was probably what was happening, which I can understand. Like, I can't imagine if I, because most people exploit people when it comes to, like, not all people. Some people exploit people when it comes to their grief, to get a story, and that's not what I ever intend. It's the reason that typically when I do true crime, it's when it, like for example, this case when someone suggested to me when I started reading it, it pulled out my heart. When certain things pull out my heart is when I do it. Like that one with the Sebastian Rogers, even though I have no idea what happened to him still. It's actually been a year now I think about it. I think he disappeared last February. Like certain cases will pull out my heart and that's when I do it. Like that particular one, his was called I think his name was Harvey Parker if I remember right. He's from the UK. He had went missing, and when I read his story, I was like, let me cover this case because I didn't see anyone in the U.S. covering it. I mean, of course, it happened internationally. He's from the UK, I believe. Um, so I was like, let me cover this. And the more I read it, I was like, yeah, let me cover this. I just feel like, honestly, I also feel like people just seem to think that I always, you know what I often hear? I feel like most crimes that are covered are typically based on able-bodied people and the disabled people, even if they're covered, it's like bare minimum. So when I see one, if I see one and it impacts me, then that's when I cover it typically. Like, I can't remember who told me to, someone had told me to cover, I think the first true crime case I ever did was on Carly, what's her name? Fleeserman or something. I can't remember her last name. I don't know if I know what happened to her either. She went missing, and somebody was like, "Mariah, you should cover this case." I was gonna actually. The more I read it, it just sounded bizarre how she just randomly went to disappear. I just thought that it was weird. Still think it's weird to this day. And yeah, that's why I don't know how people do it I don't know how people do like have true crime channels. I mean, I wanted to start one at one point, but I'm like, I'm glad I didn't do that because I think I probably would have been way burnt out. Yeah, I did. I wonder if it's gonna be you and me talking next because it looks like it's okay, it's fine. I'm just saying because I'd rather it be like us talking than just random people coming in here and being weird. And my mom was like, because she was talking, because I was talking to her about how trolls be coming in here. She was saying maybe you should set it to subs. Eventually, I probably will if it gets to a point where I feel like it can't handle it anymore. I will. I've had people. Well, some people actually. Some people I've heard actually. Some of the true crime YouTubers they've talked about like how that they say literally what I've said, like how the crime when they are researching it they feel the emotions I feel when it comes to do these crimes, so it takes a lot out of them. I've had like multiple people. I've heard Megan say it. I've heard what's her name, Eleanor say it. There were probably other people that probably said it. I've heard those two say it, and I was like, I know Eleanor said she was taking a break because a lot of the stuff that she covers is hidden her, like her emotional, it affects her emotional health, I mean her mental health. That's why I could not do um a true crime channel, even if it was just on disability true crime. It'd be hard for me because every single case I've done, even the one that was based on disability hate crime, that was freaking like I was real livid about it. Like I don't know how it could be taxing on anyone. I don't know how anyone can really fully detach themselves from the case they do because it's not. I don't think it's physically possible because you have, in my opinion, when you're doing these cases, you have emotions of a human being, unless you're some kind of machine. In my opinion, you feel things and I think most of these true crimers feel things, and it's probably why some of them have to take breaks, which I completely understand because it's taxing on the emotions. You can only handle so much before you flip. It is very true. And I know for myself, when I'm even reading the details of each cases, I can only handle so much um before I can like deal with it. Well, it may not be as pronounced as I experienced it, of course, because I'm autistic, but they do feel. I know it's taxing on their emotions because one said they're taking a break from it a definite amount of time, which tells me it must be taxing on the emotions. Um, which I can understand because it's taxing on my emotions because I can feel other people's emotions, but and I know not everyone can feel everyone other people's emotions. But then also, when I do my any kind of true crime, I think about like, what if that was my family member? What would I want done for that? Would I want it covered? Would I want like honestly? I would hope if anything like that happened to any of my family member, and someone asked me to do something like that, if there was not enough coverage online, of course I would say yeah, but I would love them to get my input. Um, I hope Chill comes in here. I like when he comes in here. I don't. I just don't. I don't know how people do it every day. Like I can understand. I understand if you do it every few like maybe every once in a while, but every day I just can't imagine. Because a lot of the cases I've seen are so gory. I'm like I can't. Like there are certain cases I could never touch. Like the ones where like I don't even know. Well, you found it. That's awesome. I'm glad you found a game, Nick. That's awesome. But like the one thing that makes me realize people are human is when you see them talk. Like for example, when I was watching Megan's I was watching her Q&A, and I know people were asking her how she does things and like does this stuff get hard and stuff, and she would answer like very um like very bluntly, which I understand because like I can't imagine being a new mom and doing true crime. I mean, being a new mom and still doing true crime cases because that's a lot of emotions right there. Doing all that, because you're probably also sleep deprived, but then you have these hard hitting emotional situations you have to actually you have to have, I feel like you kind of have to split your mind off in different areas so you don't like overwhelm it. Like, and also for her, it's different because she used to be like a journalist. I don't know if she still does it, but she used to be a journalist, so she does her, the way she does her during, when she, the way she does her true crime videos make me smile because it's so detailed and like detail oriented. It's very specific and it's straight to the point, which is it's most common for people that are journalists. So it's interesting. Um, what am I trying to think? I just think it's interesting, but I like true crime. It's one of my special interests. Maybe that's probably why. I might be another reason why I take things very hard more than most. Honestly, she's always had she's ever since I first found her channel, she's always the way she does her channel is just very she is very considerate of the victims, but then also you could tell she how do I explain it? In the way she details things, she details out not too extensively so you don't lose track. But then she also puts in the human aspect, which sometimes I feel like some true crimers don't do very well. I like Bailey Sarian. She's very good. She's very thorough, but she puts her own little 2 cents in there too. Kind of like how I do when I do my true crime stuff. I'm not nowhere near close to her, like talent or whatever. But um, I don't tend to leave my viewpoints out of the true crime stuff, even though probably people will probably say, yeah, you should, but whatever. I can't. There's certain aspects I can't do it. I'm sorry. There's just certain ones I just can't. When a child is killed, I can't. I'm sorry. Especially when I feel like the person did not get the adequate amount of time they should be in there. That is not a no. Um, there are certain instances like I just can't like be quiet. I know people are like, Mariah, you should keep your mouth shut or whatever. Probably think that they don't say it because they're probably just not mean enough to say things and not maybe not bold enough to say it. Um, but there are just things I can't just like let go. Like this one is one of the cases it's gonna be hard for me to do. Um, because I'm just thinking like if I was his mom, I don't think I could. I don't think I could have. I don't think. I know that lady would not probably have gotten off because I wouldn't have let that happen. But okay. I'd probably be like this one lady on Deadly Women, which is means I'd probably be in the jail like she was. Hmm. Which is not my fault because and like I said, I have a really fast temper, but I'm also an emotional person, so I can't see myself being one to be just okay with you did this, you got the punishment, and the punishment did not suit the crime. To me, it did not. I don't understand how this person got to get out of the jail is what I don't get, and she just gets to live her life like she didn't do something. That's what I don't. That's one thing I really don't never get. Like I don't like when criminals get out when they purposely they did an in they did they said it's unintentional, but they intentionally chose to do it. There are several people I've covered on this channel. They've done things like there was this one I did on the murder of Grant Whitaker. The guy, I'm sorry, he shouldn't be out of jail. I'm not sorry about that. Actually, I'm not sorry. The guy who killed him should not have been out of jail. I don't care. I don't care if that makes me evil. I don't care. He only got like 2 years on a what was it? 2 years. Was it even 2 years he got? Actually, I don't think it was 2 years. I think it was less than 2 years. And I think he got out because of COVID, is why I think. Even though they said he served his time, but I think it was because of COVID, honestly. Um, I just think it's important to put your own viewpoint on things sometimes, even if people don't agree with it. Because I feel like it shows more of a human aspect, but that's just a thought I have. Honestly, I don't know. I do think this channel. I think YouTube is trying to shadow block this channel. I do think that because I've noticed the numbers are way different than they normally are. So I'm thinking the YouTube is trying to shadow block shadow ban this channel. I don't know why. Not certain. Yeah, the sentences, like, me and my dad are very similar when it comes to when we watch true crime, which is understandable. Um, I even asked him, I said, and this is an honest thing, I said, if any of your children did any crime that was any kind of crime, would you turn them in? And he said, yeah, honestly, I'm the same way with my dad. If I had children and they did any kind of crime, I'm not gonna just let them. I'm not protecting them. You did a crime, you deserved your punishment. That's exactly how I feel. Like, for example, I said, if one of us, any of your daughters killed someone, would you turn us in? I would hope he would say yeah, and he did say yes. He said yeah, he would do it. If any of my children committed murder, I'm not covering up for them. No, I'm not. Because you took someone else's life, you deserve whatever punishment is coming your way. That's how I feel. And I don't care if people don't like what I say either. Like, I think that is fair. Um, and that reminds you of Your Honor. I feel like I've heard of that show. I don't know why. I feel like I've heard that. Not no. Before you told me, I heard. I feel like I heard. Before you told me about the show, I feel like I've heard of it. I think I might have saw it in some kind of trailer or something. Um, yeah, I don't think I have access to it because it's on the. I think it's on the live version of Hulu. I think. See, the heck I am. The heck I. The heck I. Wait, like covers up or covers? What do you mean? Do you mean covers up? Because yeah, I'm not doing that. My child commits a murder. Hell, if I'm covering them, helping them. You committed a murder. The hell I am helping you. You're going. I'll take you. I will literally take you right to the prison. I'm not. I can't feel bad for you. Especially if you raised the kid right. Why should you cover up for them? You're basically saying they're making it complicit for them to commit more crimes, likely. Because I've seen it enough on TV where Actually, I think it happened. It was a thing that happened. No, it was something that happened in the university. I remember it was on Deadly Women. There was this professor who ended up killing all her different attorneys. I mean, all the different colleagues because and this is how it started. First, when she was a child, she got away with her brother's murder, and the mom was like, didn't let her child go to like prison because she was like she will lose both her children. And then later on in life, she ended up killing all her colleagues because she got fired from her job. Oh, hi, Mariel. How are you? Um, Back to saying. I was saying that basically that's why I said I'm not. If I have kids, I'm never covering up for them because if they do a major crime, I'm not covering up. This is my job to, like, let's be honest, as a parent or a guardian, you should not. You want the best for your kids and not allow them to do things that are against the law or like how do I say it? Against the law or that is what am I trying to say? Okay, my thought. Okay, back to what I was saying. Oh yes, against the law or is criminal in the sense that you're breaking the law and you're trying to hide. Like let's be honest, that's probably why so many fugitives are like that's how let's be honest, that's how some family members go to jail because they be hiding their families who are fugitives. And then they're like, well, I didn't know they were there, but you like literally, let's be honest, with how technology is now today, they can track if you knew that they were coming. Like, I don't. First off, if I had a sibling or I had a sibling that did any kind of crime, and they came to me saying, "Mariah, can you hide me?" No, I can't. I can take you to the police station. That's what I can do. Why should I hide you and make me complicit to your crime because you want to be acting irresponsible or ignorant towards the crime? I'm not. I'm not regardless of the crime. I'm still not covering for anybody. That's not fair for me because especially if I have knowledge of a crime, that's gonna knowing myself because I already know how I am. I don't do well with secrets. I know it's an autistic thing. I don't want to be holding a secret and then it backfires on me because you weren't supposed to tell nobody. Then maybe go turn yourself in and leave me alone. Leave me out of it. Hopefully, if my siblings, which I doubt either one of them will ever commit a crime. Um, um, that I know if they ever committed a crime and I knew about it, I'd be taking them to the police station, or I'd tell them to turn themselves in. Don't contact me is what I'd be saying. Because through phone records, you got it basically looks like I'm complicit in the crime, even though I have no knowledge of it. Because that's how a lot of people get people, even if the family member doesn't know, they can make it seem like, oh, this person knew about my crime and they're just complicit. Oh, Johnny or whoever like knew about what I was about to do. So I do feel like that's how a lot of people get in trouble. Like unfortunately, like people how people get. I don't know if it's still. I'm not sure if it's. It probably is a charge somewhere where it's like you're an accomplice after the fact. Like that's what happened with Alex Henry. Was considered an accomplice after the fact, which I still not do not understand. Where he was where he didn't he supposedly was supposed to know that there was a knife. Oh hi Ivy, how are you? Um there was supposedly he was supposed to know that there was a knife in his friend's bag so he could use to kill somebody. How could anybody possibly know? I still never got that. I don't think anybody gets that because it makes no bloody sense. That's what it does not make any sense. How could you possibly know someone's gonna have a weapon to kill somebody in their bag? I don't understand. The UK's laws don't make any sense the same way as sometimes let's be honest, a lot of things that I've heard in justice system here, other different countries, I don't get them. I don't get how things are charged. I don't get it. So saying let's just make an example. If I like say me and my best friend went somewhere, okay, supposedly okay, let's just say she has some kind of weapon in her bag. We're just going with this example because of the Alex Henry case. Say I did something to the person, like punched them or slapped them, and then ran away. Because that's what he did. They said that Alex punched the guy and then ran away. And then after the fact, the friend ended up stabbing that person, which doesn't make any bloody sense in the first place. Because how could he possibly know? And the friend had a thing. Supposedly, it said the case was said that he's supposed to know what is in his friend's duffel bag, so it plans basically, I'm supposed to know that he has a intention to harm someone over here, and and it made him become. I felt bad because this kid is also the guy is also autistic. The one who ended up getting charged as an accomplice after the fact. I think it's bull ass, by the way, because it means like honestly, I know myself in a panic situation. I probably would have done the same exact thing that Alex Henry did because I'm terrified of the basically the consequences of my actions. It's more of a panic response to what I see is that, but also I'm autistic, so I'm biased to it. I would be thinking I punched someone. Oh my gosh, they're gonna come after me. I'm running away. That's what I would be thinking. But I know, of course, not everyone thinks that way, but that's what I would have thought. So then, first off, if I'm not anywhere in the vicinity, how could I possibly know what was going to happen after the fact? I do wonder if the friend always had stuff in his bag, and so he just decided all of a sudden, let me use it, because he might have honestly always had something in his bag, and no one ever knew that it was in there, because for all we know, he could have had some kind of shady life on the side, because it's possible, and he could have been like, okay, I need this weapon just in case something goes sideways, and so like this is the way I protect myself. I don't know. I kind of hope. I really hope that his case gets I hope his case gets overturned and he gets exonerated because like having that kind of charge on your let's be honest, he's already had punishment because he's been in jail for a good amount of time. He's not been able to raise his daughter, which is bullcrap, by the way. That makes it worse. Yeah, see, that's a lot of time. Like he can't be around his family unless he like interacts with them when they come to jail. Like he's lost out on family time. He can't get those back. Like his daughter is probably either 10 or 11 now, which is actually really sad. But basically means he missed most of her childhood. Um, like I don't understand. Like I don't get this. I've also read a different case where this same thing was done, but the case was overturned. So why is that not being used for his case too. Is what I don't get. I know they petitioned the court to get that evidence used, but they won't. Some reason I don't know. It's almost like they're biased towards him. They won't allow him that evidence. I mean that kind of like court case to be even used as like evidence. It's the same kind of sorry. It's an example for his case because like it's the same kind of case. Like I don't quite understand. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking about doing. I have ideas of what I want to do for this 1300 sub thing, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't know how that's gonna go. Yeah, there is a there is some kind of law, but the laws some of these laws don't make any sense to me in the U.S. or the U.K. or any some of these laws I'm not understanding like that one about like I think it's enterprise forgot some kind of enterprise law. I've never had heard of it till I was reading that case. I literally because we don't I don't think we have one of those in the states. If we do have an equivalent, I don't know what it's called. Uh yeah. I'm thinking. Yeah. You should, yeah, I don't, some of these, like, for example, like how it just makes me, it's interesting to me how some people that do sell drugs get way lengthier sentences than some murderers do. Like, I still don't get that one murderer that, there's several murders I've seen get released, and I'm thinking, well, what the hell are you getting released for? You killed somebody. What? It doesn't make sense to me. And someone that literally sold drugs, who maybe even hasn't killed anybody, is still in bloody jail. I don't get it. You literally took someone's life, and you get to get out and have a life in some way, but like these people that have sold drugs and hasn't actually physically taken anyone's life gets to stay in jail for like 30 plus years. I'm thinking, isn't that does that make any sense to me? No. In my opinion, people that murder somebody should be in there for life or get the death penalty. One thing I don't like is that certain states that had the death penalty no longer use it. Like, why? Like, what was the purpose of even if you didn't want to use it, you should have never put it in that state. You could have just gave everyone mandatory life sentences for murder. Either way, the person is not going to basically get out and possibly do it again because basically when you get a sentence where they can get out, they most likely will do it again. Because I've seen a lot of true crime where people get out, they do it again, then they come back. Like, what was your purpose of? And see, if that was my loved one, the person got out of jail, the murderer got out of jail, and then killed my loved one. God would have to help me. He would have to help me not hurt that person. That's what he would have to help me do. I'm serious. I ain't even kidding. I don't care. I don't care if I'm supposed to forgive them. I don't care. I would be trying to get them. I would like tell the police or the people in the court, I need the police right here because this is not gonna be how it goes. Like, I do wonder how the victims' families feel when people get out and then they harm again. Like, I wonder, and it's not the family's fault because they didn't release them. But it is, in my opinion, the parole board should get some kind of penalty or something, or the people that gave them an option to get out and they knew they weren't could not be rehabilitated. Um, that and they knew for a fact they were not rehabilitated or never could be rehabilitated. In my opinion, those people should lose their bloody jobs. And I know, of course, they're probably not going to because they know they knew these people were underhanded when they sent them free. It's almost like they maybe don't take allowed them out of jail so they could reduce the population, which is really disgusting if that's what the reasoning was. You think both in the U.S. Yeah, there's definitely a jury. So in South Africa, man, see, I feel like I do wish that was the way it was done here because like sometimes the jury can be biased, and I've seen in cases where even though they say it's not biased or whatever, I do suspect that sometimes people cheat the system in order to get on a jury, and they pretend like they're not biased, but they actually are, which is actually really sickening. If that ever has happened, that's actually really sick, because that means you already knew which way you were going to vote before you even heard any evidence, which is actually really sick, because that means you basically you are tampering with what's happening. And you said sometimes the judges here get it very wrong. I believe you. I believe that. Also, but you said the appeals process is very slow, and it does work. Um, I don't know. I just think if the death penalty was ever like abolished or whatever, I think that murderers should just get licenses, no possibility for parole, um, because it means they can't never get out and harm somebody outside in the actual, and if they call it the free world. People that are in prison, they call it free world. I don't know why, but um, they can't just do whatever they want. Like I do. I know people are like people that have like people that think what people have done, like if they're murdered, they should get a second chance. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. If I murdered someone, I don't think I deserve a second chance because I took someone else's life away from them. That's just my thought, but I'm also Mariah. I can't have my own thoughts the same way anyone else can have their own thoughts. I just think that I, for me, I don't know. I feel like I'm half and half for the death penalty. I understand why it's used in certain cases. Other cases, and the reason I'm half and half is because I've done cases on people that have been falsely accused. So I'm half on that, half on half on the side of where I don't think it should be a thing that's used, half on the side where I understand why it's used, because that there are particular ones that I'm like, I don't know how anyone could forgive them. Like, there are certain ones I just can't. Like, to be honest, if that was my family member, I'm talking about I'm the victim family, not the person that's being executed. Um, but I don't. That's not why I said it. That's not why I said. That's nothing to do with why I said it. I don't think this execution shouldn't happen. The only reason I said that it shouldn't happen is because there are people that have been falsely accused. The other side, I see why it happens, because in my opinion, if I was a victim, one of the members of the victim's family, because that's how I think about it sometimes. I see both sides. I see the side where people have been falsely accused, and then I also see the side of the people of serial killers, victims of serial killers, their family, the family of the victims. They've been literally sitting there being tortured by the memory of the loss of their family, because some of these serial killers be gloating about like what they did, and which is very sickening, and it makes me really really mad. It makes me want to hurt them my darn self. That's how I feel. Um, that's why. Because I think literally I put myself in the shoes of the people that have lost somebody because of somebody's disgusting and intentional actions. Like you purposely went out. There are some people that be killing people for no bloody reason, like none. There ain't nothing reason. Like I've seen it, and they make that. See, like those cases where people killing people for just because they want to kill. I don't feel any pity for you if you get the death penalty. I can't. I cannot. Like you just took someone's life away because I can. But that just makes me so mad, and I'm trying really hard not to get mad. I'm trying really hard to not get mad because that makes me really, really pissed. Because the reason why I get mad is because I'm thinking, who do you think you are to take someone's life just because you can? How dare you? That's how I think. Like, how dare you do that? And those are the ones I don't feel bad when they get the death penalty. I don't feel nothing for no one that does that. I don't feel anything for anyone that does that. I do feel bad for the ones that get executed. Like I've had a case where he got executed, and he was falsely executed. He was accused, falsely executed, tried, all that stuff. And he was executed, and eventually like 50 something years after his execution, which doesn't even make a damn, I'm just saying it don't make a dang sense at all. he's finally exonerated. Who cares if you exonerate him? He's like, you, that doesn't do nothing. You literally executed him. What does that do? Nothing. I don't even think his family members are probably still alive, because this was back in the, I think back in the early 1900s or something. Like what? You couldn't. I just don't even understand. Like, and the thing that made me even more mad about that particular case is because you could tell cognitively he could not understand what was happening. Like, you could tell it was based on what what I read on, based on this case, he could not comprehend what was going on in this case. So he might have falsely given, because back in, I don't know if they probably still use these tactics where the police pretend to say, "Oh, I'm on your side," and they try to coax a story out of you even if it's not true, because they know that, I've even heard it on true crime stuff I've watched, where they tell you, "Oh, if you tell us a confession, you get to go home," which of course we know that's not the case. Typically, if you give a confession, even if you're coerced, they will most likely, if you're, let's be honest, most of the corrupt officers would take it and be like, "Okay, that's fine, blah blah blah." Of course, a person that wasn't really corrupt probably most likely won't try to coax a confession out of you. They will, like, "Okay, what happened?" Typically, you know if a confession more likely is true or not if the details every time you say they align. But if you keep, like, I've seen so many true crimes, because I watch a true crime a lot, where they keep changing the story multiple times. It's like literally you said something before, then you change it and change it and change it and change it so many times. Like, I honestly, if I heard somebody change the story so many times, the details just keep shifting. I'm thinking, okay, that sounds suspicious. Like, why? You said this is what you did, then why is it not consistent? Because typically, when you lie, let's just be honest, when anyone lies, I've lied. I think everyone lies, even if they say they don't. When you lie, you don't typically always remember the lie. If it's a lie that is, just be honest, lies you typically don't remember. You just make it up, and then, okay, it's out of your brain. If someone asks you about it, you're like, "Okay, let me come with a different lie." If someone is very detail oriented, they'll most likely remember what you said. Like, I watched enough even on Lifetime, where they say, "You said this." Like, even on the show I was watching, The Rookie, this police officer, the two characters of police officers on the show, and the one character was like, "Didn't you say that you lost a girlfriend through drug overdose and what was the other one? A car accident?" And then he, like, cuz she heard him say to a person, "Oh, I lost my girlfriend in a car accident," when he already had told her he lost her in a drug overdose. She found out in the end that he was lying, and she was trying to get him removed from the police station, which is understandable, because if you can make up lies in order to get into the police station, it's concerning. You tell those stories to get actually hired, which is actually really kind of concerning, but nonetheless, yeah. Um, you said when people read a script or say the same thing every time, more likely. Yeah, probably most likely, yeah. Well, actually, no, I don't know. For me, I don't know. I've never rehearsed the stories. I don't know about that. I would say, um, well, actually, both is true. Like, typically when it's like a script, because I watched the movie when that kind of thing actually happened. The people actually said the exact same thing, and they were like, they can't all be saying the same exact thing, and they figured out it was a lie, because the movie was based off someone raped this girl and they couldn't find her. It was a gang rape or whatever. Sorry, it was kind of a lot, but that's what happened in the movie. There's gang rape, and they're trying to find out where the girl was. They couldn't find her. Like, she was just not anywhere you could. They were looking for her. They couldn't find her, and eventually, I guess they eventually found out that the girl had ended up dying because she choked on, I think, her own vomit or something, which is very disgusting, but it happens. Uh, Honestly, I'd probably be the first one to confess if I was one of these people that was told a script. I'd be like, "I can't do this. It's too much pressure." Because that's when one of the guys was like, "Yeah, I can't do this. We can't be lying about this," because I'd be like, Because they would eat, like, be honest. Oh, for me, I know myself personally. If I had a lie like that, pretending like I didn't do something when I know I did it, my conscience would eat at me till I eventually wanted to confess. I know I felt bad because one of the one characters wanted to confess, and then he ended up killing himself because he was like, because he couldn't take the pressure no more because everyone was trying to tell him, no, don't tell nobody, don't tell nobody, don't tell nobody. He ended up dropping out of school, and then one of the people who eventually told at the end of their movie was like, yeah, he couldn't take the pressure no more, so he ended up doing that. But also, I also think that what scares me, I wish they would also do the same way that they weed out people that are corrupt in different businesses. I wish they would, if they see someone is corrupt in a police station, they should just take them and like, yeah, you can't work here no more. Like that's just how it should be going instead of just letting corruption just keep happening. Because if you have corrupt officers, then also corrupt racists. Let's go with that one too. Officers, you might have where someone convicts someone of a crime when they didn't actually do it because you have a person that's bigoted, a person that's really prejudiced towards a race. I'm sure that's happened more than people would like to say, which is very sad. What was I gonna say? I don't know. I probably shouldn't like true crime as much as I do. I stopped watching it as much, particularly at nighttime. Well, I feel bad for those people that feel like they can't. I rather stand out in a job if it comes to I need me being liked. I don't really care. Let's be honest, I've never really been liked. I don't really care. Well, I probably have been liked by some people. I really care. I'd rather be honest than be someone that's fake and trying to fit in because, like, what does that get you? You can have all the accolades, but if you're corrupt, what does that mean? I don't mean to me. If someone ever came up to me and said, "Oh, Mariah, you're an honest person, but you need to be more corrupt," yeah, I'd be like, kick some rocks, walk away. Like if anyone ever approached me and said I need to be more corrupt to fit in, I guess they would be. I'd be like, okay, you can go away, leave me alone, because I don't want to be. I don't want to fit in so much that I will do anything just to fit into the culture. I would never do that. Um, it's actually really sick to me that people. Yeah, unfortunately, you're right. It does seem like they don't get prosecuted unless they're. And also sometimes I feel like the police. Um, I feel like police have been I feel like some corrupt police pay off judges that are corrupt in order to get there. I think I've seen that actually. Where on some true crime stuff, I've seen where corrupt police pay off the judge that's corrupt, and then they get their stuff thrown out, which is actually really sick to me. Like, what? What is this? Yeah, that's really sick to me. That's encouraged. That makes me sick. Um, yeah, I don't, I don't even get it. Like, I don't understand why anyone would be like, yeah, I don't even understand how people can sleep that are corrupt. I don't, because if I was corrupt, thank God I'm not. I don't even think I'd be able to sleep because I'd barely be up all at night being able to like. I don't know how I could sleep with being corrupt because like some people can just sleep like this is not a big deal. It does not bother me. Like I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't think I'll ever understand that. Yeah, I know. It is just we don't know. Honestly, there's probably corruption that's bought off that's not. I know there's some because I've seen it on movies and stuff, and I don't believe they put things in movies that actually don't happen. There are people that are corrupt that buy like newspaper stuff and things so they can't print certain things, which is really kind of weird in my opinion. Like that actually tells me how much power certain people have. Yeah. I don't like that either. I don't like that because I don't like bribery because I just don't know. I don't know. I just don't like that either. Well, that's actually I feel that's really sad. I'm talking about what you just said, Mildred. That's really sad that people are. I'd rather lose my job than be under a leader who like actually is okay with somebody being corrupt. I just I can't do that. To be honest, I would rather lose my job, be blackballed, and feel good about myself than feed into that and cause people havoc and um yeah, no. Wait, is it a weird wait, what do you mean it's weird? What do you mean by it's weird? I'm kind of worried now. Weird as in bad or weird as in weird? Please don't be weird bad because I don't want if it's a weird bad, I don't know if I want to hear it. No, at first I didn't know if it's weird bad or weird. Because I don't want to hear. I don't know if I want to hear if it's weird bad. If someone, wait a second, is the corruption gonna be someone died? Because if someone died, I don't want it. Oh, it's just weird. Okay, good. Oh, okay. So suppose you're running a bar and you don't know some kind of drink is outlawed. Yeah, but I wouldn't be doing that. If something is outlawed, why would I be? First off, I wouldn't be running a bar because I don't want to. So, but I guess it's based on their example. I wouldn't be serving it if it's outlawed because I already have to. I have morals, so I don't want to do that. But remember, you're talking to someone that's not corrupt, so I wouldn't be. That is, yeah, I'm not gonna. Mildred, I wouldn't be doing that in the first place, so yeah, I don't. That's ridiculous. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't be selling. I'm not doing that. First off, if it's outlawed, I don't. It reminds me of alcohol and cigarettes being banned over. Really? That's interesting, Nick. I never knew that. But also, I'm not over there, so I wouldn't know that. That's interesting. Wait. You mean like for everybody it's banned? What do you mean like in bars it's banned? I don't smoke, so I don't have any concern about that. I don't really drink either, so. But I feel bad it's banned over there for people that do those things, but I still wouldn't break in the law just to do something. You're a minister of health son-in-law smuggled cigarettes and alcohol from black. Wait, how do you know all that? Wait, how do you know all that? Well, how do you know all that, Nick? What? The fees of the fine. Yeah, I know I know exactly what you're saying, Mildred, but I'm just saying, um, I do know exactly what you're saying. I'm saying people, I know you're saying people would do that. I believe you. I was gonna say, um, okay, that makes more sense how you know. Okay, you said feasible fine is a way for government to signal private business that the outlaw practice is fine with them. But they want to sort out. I think you meant to say out. Oh no, sort of tax it. You were right the first time. And they don't want to discuss it with the public. Well, that's not surprising. I'm sure there are probably more businesses that do this than don't. Okay, maybe not more, maybe half or maybe less than half. There are probably people that do this. I don't know who exactly. Um, but yeah. I just wish corruption didn't exist because it makes the people that are honest have to work harder. Like a lot of these rules are put in place because there are people that are corrupt, which is very annoying, by the way. Like it's like in school where you have, and it probably still happens today, where in school you have where the bad kids mess it up for all the good kids. I remember that used to happen to me and my sister when we were in school. That used to happen. When all the bad kids, the few bad kids, would mess it up for the good kids. So like, say there was like some kind of treat being rewarded because of the bad kids, the good kids wouldn't get anything because they literally ruined it for the whole class. Like I literally hated that mess. And to me, it's similar to corruption. Corruption can be a few bad apples, but they ruin it for all the other good people. So whatever the good thing was is no longer considered good because the bad people have corrupted it to a point where it's no longer seen as good. So it's like basically out the window. That's how I view corruption. I know it's probably like a weird way of viewing it, but that's how I think about it when I'm thinking about it. It's like let's just say 75, maybe like 80, 95% of the people are good, and then you have those few 5% or maybe less than that messing it up, and it causes this whole, oh, is this a good thing or is it a bad thing because of the few bad people that messed it up? You think corruption is a gap between what the public agree as a social contract and the political class wants things, when the gap between things, oh sorry, there's a gap between things and no one wants the public review corrupt um logistics or how to overcome the gap. Yeah, I don't like the caste system. I just never liked that. I just don't like it because it basically means someone's always at the bottom, someone's in the middle, and someone's at the highest place, which means it's not even equal. And I don't like that. I never have because it means the people at the bottom are the two at the bottom rungs suffer, and the other one at the top doesn't gets away with scot free of thing. That I don't like that. In my opinion, they all should be level because they're all the same. They maybe have some may have more goods or resources, but it doesn't mean they don't shouldn't have the same punishments everyone else has, and they shouldn't be able to buy their way out of punishment. Um, but I know, of course, I'm biased because I'm part of the one of the two rungs under the highest one. Um, so I honestly, I wonder if I would. I probably would still think that way, even if I ever was rich, which I hope. I don't really want to be rich, so that's not a big deal. But I just think, yeah, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to change. But what am I supposed? I'm not going to worry about that for the rest of my life. Let's be honest. We already know that the rich kind of rules the world, and they get to do. Most of them get to do whatever they want, even if it is non-beneficial for others. But I'm also biased, like I said. So yeah. Any particular question we have? We don't have to talk about this anymore because it's a really heavy and um heavy topic that can be off-putting for people, and I don't know. Um, yeah. You seem you're probably biased like me. You think? Um, I don't know. I've never wanted to be rich, and I'm glad I'm not. Because there's all honestly there's drawbacks of any one part of any part of the class, any class you're part of. There's benefits and drawbacks of the class. So I just never wanted to be rich because I need my privacy, and like the people that are rich can't. The people that are super rich can't get the privacy. Not that's not a Mariah thing. That ain't that's not something I want ever. I need my privacy. I need my um I wouldn't mind being. I one thing I always said I don't mind being financially comfortable. I don't want to be rich because I need my privacy. I need like to be to myself and people not bugging me all the time. I need like, and then of course people say everyone that's rich always says there's cost to being famous, and like I don't want. I'm good. No, thank you. I'm good with that. Like you see a lot of them having all these mental health issues, and I know why because eventually let's be honest, I don't think any person that's rich can really handle the pressures of fame because it's like when you become famous, you have to do more and more to stay famous and relevant, which is, I feel bad for people who have to do that because it sounds taxing. I would never wish that on anybody. Like, I've seen, not physically, but I've seen after effects of what people that are really famous and been in the spotlight since they were young, what it's done for them. Some of them it's affected their mental health. Some people have, so that's probably why some of them have substance abuse problems, unfortunately. Because you have to stay like up in energy and all that stuff in order to be able to work and just stay at a point um where you can handle it. And I don't think anyone's meant to handle that like kind of celebrity. And like the problem with being famous is you can't just retire and be forgotten. Like, I just want, like, seriously, like I remember watching I remember reading an interview about like this one celebrity I really like. He was like, I like being famous and then just going home and like being like in my family life, like I get to like, and like you don't hear many celebrities say that. Like you get to have your fame and then you get to go and be like a normal person. Like, and I feel bad because like literally when I watch these like people like, well, I used to, when I used to watch like the ETV, which I don't do anymore, where they would show like people like just living their life and they get photographed and everything, and I'm thinking they're just trying to live their life. Like, can't you just leave them alone for like a moment? Um, I remember listening to that song Eminem. I remember listening to the song that Eminem did when it was about when his daughter was young, and he was talking about like um how he was feeding his daughter at one point, and the paparazzi and people wouldn't leave him alone, and you could tell when he was singing the rap he was really pissed because he was like, basically, I'm trying to live my life, but you can't give me a moment to have time with my child. Like, I mean, of course, unfortunately, that's what I'm saying. The drawbacks of fame. I mean, I think it's really cute. I always loved his one thing I always loved about Eminem, that he always put his children first, and that you don't, at least I never saw in any other rapper, but also maybe it was before my time, where the child, like you're supposed to put, they're supposed to be, I feel like, be honest, before you get famous, this is what I think, but I'm also biased. Before you get famous, you should have a plan about how you're going to stay grounded. So if something is to collapse, not that, I don't mean physically, but I mean it could be emotionally, mentally, whatever. You have something that grounds you in order to remember, oh, this is where I come back to center myself. Like, so then, like, I feel like for him, it was always his child, his daughter, and I respect that. Like, he had something that he knew, that is the thing that will keep me grounded and remember I'm a human being, and like things will happen in my life, but that little girl is the one I'm raising. Um I have to show her that she is valued. All the things you need to teach your child. I have something that grounds me. Remember, this is just what I'm doing right now is just a job. It's not nothing more than that. Like, and I feel like if people have that before they become famous, maybe they won't lose themselves in the career. Because sometimes I feel like a lot of these celebrities lose themselves in the career they're in because they're like they didn't have like a grounding point for them. That's what I think. You said, yeah, I don't, I would never want to be born. I'm glad I was never, I was, I'm glad my parents aren't famous. I'm glad about that. I would never want to be born into a famous family. Because that means you can't ever get away from it. Like, and I know some people try to escape it and they can't. And like, there are some people that like, they don't want to be tied to that. And I understand because you can't get any like privacy. And I completely understand it. I just really like watching. I just really like listening to his like older raps, and you always saw. I'm not. Let's be honest. Throughout all of his rap career, the whole time, at least from what I've noticed, it's always pointing back to his daughter. Because I remember even that cleaning out my closet, even though I know now it has some kind of stigma towards it because he was talking about like his mom and stuff, like which I can understand at that point because that was their relationship was in a bad spot. Because he talks about everything that happened in his childhood in that thing, and I was like, whoa, this is deep. Like literally, it's one of the deepest. I gotta say, it's probably one of the deepest thing I ever heard. He was talking about his daughter never ever meeting his mom because the mom was like abusive and stuff. Of course, I know his mom is now no longer here, and I remember listening to I think they were talking to him about like how he feels about his mom now she's gone. I think he was saying he regrets some of the stuff he said about her. Of course, I understand they probably had a turbulent relationship, and and but I guess but also both sides are valid points. Like she's allowed to have her own side, he's allowed to have his side. Like they don't have to agree on what happened, but somewhere the truth is in there. Point is like I love that his rap is the way of expressing himself, and that one scared me. I ain't gonna lie. Stan scared the hell out of me. That rap scared the hell out of me because that's what I fear is gonna happen to me one day. Someone's gonna be so obsessed that they're gonna do all that. That literally, I did not like that rap because I did not. When I first saw the video, oh my gosh, the way he was talking about like all the stuff and like being obsessed and like turning himself into being Eminem and all the crap. It was insane. I'm sorry. And that's scared. And the reason why I say it scares me is because that's the parasocial relationship the guy was trying to have, and that scared the hell out of me. Like what he was trying to become the person he emulated. That was like really like that's what I'm terrified of. That's why I don't want any. I hope no one has a parasocial relationship with me in that regard because I don't want us. Because he basically was a stalker, and I don't. Oh nah, man. Oh no. I'm I'm good. I'm good. And I do wonder how often that happens, like to celebrities. How often does someone equate um being a fan to being a friend or a significant relation to someone they don't actually physically know? Like that is like I don't like that. Like I worry that's gonna happen because random people that are normal have had that happen to them. Like I'm not saying I'm talking about people that are non-celebrities, um, have that happen to them, and that scares me. I don't want that to happen to me ever. Oh hello. Because because the reason why I don't want it to happen is because that means that person has lost touch with reality, and I don't want to deal with someone that's lost touch with reality because any kind of attention I give that any kind of person attention someone gives that person is making them see maybe making them think that it's more of a reality than it actually is. I do think it happens way more often than we think. And I think when I first saw that Stan video, I was like, "What the heck is this?" Because I never saw a video like that in my life. I had never seen a one where someone um in the actual video that he made is trying to be him, and then he was kind of insinuating he wants a sexual relationship with them on top of like basically we're gonna be the same person, which can't possibly happen, but okay. And like that's where I'm saying it's basically, in my opinion, Stan was like the guy was a stalker plus like a we're just talking about I was talking about parasocial relationships and like how because someone brought up in the comment section brought up in the chat where we were talking about the video Stan that Eminem does where um the fan is like a stalker because he kind of emulates him so much he wants to become him, which is kind of insane in my opinion, and I do suspect that happens more often than we know, which is kind of terrifying. Yeah. And I was saying I hope that never happens to me because I don't want to deal with that. Because when that happens, that means that person, whoever it is, probably lost touch of reality because they're thinking, oh, I can have more than she's actually giving me, but then like, oh, like for me, I'd be talking normally, but to the other person, it may be they're perceiving it a certain way, which is not. Like typically in social pair relationships, it could be they perceive a relationship where there is none, a friendship where there is none, um, other kind of relationship, but I don't even know. I would hope it wouldn't be like a sibling kind of relationship, because that would actually freak me out even more, because I already have two siblings my own self, and I don't want that. I saw in the movie, this show, I'm sorry, it was a show, I think it was called Death by Fame, I think that's what she was in. This is where this case was talked about, where I don't know if anyone knows about, what's her name? Rebecca Schreiber, I think it's her last, or is it? Starts with an S. Her last name starts with an S. She was in I think it's the show she was in is called My Sister Sam. I think based on what I remember seeing is that the person who ended up killing her, assumed that what she was doing as an actress was actually really happening, which actually really scares me half to death, because basically he tells me that that person couldn't perceive what was actually reality from fiction. Which also another case similar to that was anyone heard of Christina Grimmie? That's very similar too, with the parasocial relationship, where he perceived there was a relationship where there was none. The guy was just a fan, and I guess he perceived there was a relationship where there was none. Like, he told people that that was his girlfriend, which actually really that makes you scared. Like, and he ended up unfortunately killing her, and killing himself. That I saw a documentary, but I felt so sad when her mom ended up dying a little bit after her because she had cancer. But then the dad and the brother were talking about. I felt so bad because the brother is the one that tried to stop it from further escalating. And so that made my heart sad because he witnessed his own sister being murdered in front of him, like, because she was just at like a meet and greet fan thing. The guy came to the table, like, I don't know what he said to her. And the girl's former boyfriend, I guess they were dating at the time. He ended up being in the documentary and was talking about like how he loved Christina so much, and you could tell even though it's been years or a couple years or whatever, you could still see the hurt, and I understand that, like, you lost a loved one, you never needed them back, like, because somebody decided just to do because they perceived a relationship where there was none, they decided just to act on it. And that's the thing that worries me. You can perceive somebody a certain way and they have no knowledge of it, and they could just take you out of this world just because they think that's the right thing to do. That's actually really scary, and that's one thing I fear that will happen. Um, so a lot of these people that are online, hopefully never. I hope I never have to encounter it. So far I haven't. Hopefully it stays that way. But it's a perceived thing. That's something that can actually happen to anybody. Like, even the shows I've watched about stalking, like this one girl, she kind of reminds me of myself actually. She just literally all she did was give this person a pencil or something because he didn't have one to use, and he perceived that, oh, she must like me. Like this, like literally, that's what we're going to. Because the reason I say it could happen to me is because I talk normally to people and they can perceive it a different way than I'm like. Basically, they can perceive it in one way in their mind that I'm not intending it to be perceived. And that's the one thing that really kind of worries me. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Well, I've only considered it more now because I'm online a lot more. Like with this YouTube channel, I'm a lot more out there, and this spans from different countries. There's people in Germany, South Africa, Australia, all over the world. So like that could happen in any country. Like I couldn't stop it. Um. So yeah, I just be me. I don't really know how to be anything else, but yeah. And I think it's always important to be yourself, and even even though I just try to be honest about my intentions, like particularly because I think it's very more important for me to be honest about my intentions and then to skirt or skate around something, especially I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. And of course I know these people that were killed did not cause themselves to be killed because they couldn't have possibly known what was happening in someone else's head. That's what I'm gonna say. But I just don't get it. Like, if you're a fan, I get you being a fan, but like, why does it? Oh, hi, Scobie. Why should anyone think it's okay to step over the line to just be like a? Yeah, that scares me. Yeah, no, I don't. Oh, that's what I don't want. I don't want that. Oh my gosh, that sounds terrifying. Oh. Because another reason why it's scary to have a parasocial relationship is because I feel like that person, whoever it is, will look up everything about you and try to use that information to get to you. That's why it's also another reason why it's scary to me. Because I think about that. Because I think about someone looking up all my information, trying to come to where I am and get to me. Like, that's why it scares me half to death. What's parasocial mean? Parasocial is when it's basically where you perceive a relationship where there is none. Like, you don't, for example, like, you don't know me physically, but you perceive like there's a friendship, there's a relationship. You could maybe perceive that we're like siblings, which actually would actually scare me because there's several relationships that happen in several parasocial relationships that I've seen happen through true crime. Like, it actually scared me. Like, that's the one thing I said. I said, I hope I never have that ever happen to me in my whole life. And I know it's probably more likely not to happen, but it could happen without me knowing, which actually really is, I don't even know what to say to that. No, I just wonder if the sibling thing probably could happen. No, I said, I wonder if the sibling thing is a thing because I feel like I know someone had said they were my I don't know I don't know if it was a parasocial relationship, but I don't know. But I remember someone telling me that they're my brother or something, and I don't have any brothers, so that made me really feel uncomfortable. So yeah, um, yeah, I don't want that. I don't know, like no. I remember this one online, but this was I don't know if it might have been a parasocial relationship. Now that I think about it, this past um this past conversation, like I don't know how many years, it's been a couple years I think. This person was like, "I'm your best friend," and I'm like thinking in my brain, and then the person was like mad because I told him I have a best friend. He literally got mad at me. Like, why can't I be your best friend too? Because I said I only have one best friend. What do you mean? It was weird because like I don't understand because supposedly I'm his best friend, which I don't even know how someone can claim I'm their best friend when I don't even know them, which actually makes me almost think that it might have been a parasocial relationship. When when I didn't even realize it was. It's kind of maybe it's good that we no longer talk now I think about it. You said like role playing is a thing if you cross the line and lie that you see. I understand that. Like, luckily this never happened with my sibling. Like, no one outside my family has ever actually physically called me like I'm your brother or sister. No one in real life, thank God. Yeah, I'd probably be like, yeah, you need to get over me. This is going way across the line. Like my best friend, which is different. I call her my third sister. But that's completely different. I know her in real life. Um, I view and the reason I say sister, she's not physically my sister, but I view her as that because I would treat her as the same way I protect my sisters and my parents is the same way I protect her. That's what I mean when I say it. She's not physically my sibling, like she did come from my mom or my dad, but I guess she would be like a pseudo sibling if that makes any sense. But that's completely not the same thing as a parasocial relationship. We've also been friends for almost 15 years, so it's not the same. Um, and I'm sure she probably views me in the same way I view her in that regard. Um, like, I don't know. So it's not actually based on the poll from yesterday. It seems like people want me to do a future video on parasocial relationships and autism and parasocial relationships and mental health. The one I'm looking forward to is the parasocial relationships and mental health one is one I'm looking forward to see how that goes. Of course, I know it's probably gonna be taxing on the mental health. I'm just curious to see how that one will go. That won't be for a while though. That'll be like done in like November. That's a good amount of time, and I'll be doing those in like live streams. No worries. There are people that don't come to every live, and there are people that come sporadically. It's you don't. No worries. You're still deciding. It doesn't matter. It just if you want to see me do them or not, that's the decision. I am very curious to see which article you're gonna pick for when it comes to which one you want me to do for this live stream for I was gonna say what do you want me to do for this live stream for March the 15th? Oh no worries. Do you want me to call you something else besides MRS 561? I didn't call you Crazy Jerome. But yeah. Oh, you voted yes. Is it Shayla? Is that how you say it? Is that how you say your name? Just make sure I said it right. You need more background on the two. It's the same case, Nick. It's the same case, not two different cases for that one. It's the case I was just talking. Nick. It's the case I was talking about with the sexual assault thing. That's the case I'm talking about. Um, Shayla, are you okay? Oh, good. I pronounced it right. Okay, good. Thank you for letting me know. Because the reason I asked about the pronunciation is because I'm dyslexic and I don't always my brain doesn't always pronounce things the right way, and I don't like mispronouncing people's names. I try my best not to, because I also have trauma from that because people pronounce my name wrong, which I don't quite understand why. Because if you know how to pronounce Mariah Carey, you know how to pronounce my name, or you should know how to pronounce my name. But yeah. Um. Shayla, just leave it because I think it's gonna keep going on if you talk to him about this. We're not doing this. Jerome, quit it, please. They're the same case. Yeah, two different articles. Yep, that's exactly what it is. I'm leaning more towards the second choice, but I do think most people are going to lean towards the second one. Oh, hi, um, JM. Sorry, I just smiled because I don't know. I like when people say beautiful for some reason. It's weird. I guess don't judge me. Okay, but do do the one we are speaking on today. Which one? Do the Are you talking about because the article I was talking about came from the one article is about a documentary called Tell Me You Love Me based on the case, and then there's also one based on oh. I'm gonna do both of those for the parasocial that's two different polls. Shayla, those are two different polls. One poll is about the social I slow down. Parasocial relationships and autism. That's one of the topics. The other one is parasocial and mental health. Both of those I'm gonna do, but I was asking if other people wanted to hear those. And the other poll, it's two different polls. The other one is based on two different articles I was reading, and I wanted to see which one they wanted me to use for the live stream. So one is basically on a Wikipedia, which I didn't really care to want to use, and the other one is called Tell Me You Love Me. It's a documentary based on the true story of Anna What's her last name? Scudderfield? Is it Stubble? My brain is trying to think. Hold on. Stubblefield. There we go. Her last name is not a common last name to me. I never heard it before until you're very interested in that. That's going to be a while. I'm doing those 2 live streams in like November because the reason why I pushed it out till November because I've already planned everything up until November, like the 15th on my live stream stuff. I do schedule out my content. It's not just a thing. But my planned videos, I scheduled out until like October 4th, I think. Yep, October 4th for that one. And then for my live streams, I've scheduled out all the topics until the 15th and now. So these 2 new added live streams are going to be on the November the 22nd and November the 29th. I know you're probably like, what the heck, Mariah, you're crazy. But people that are autistic understand why I do what I do with the way I do. And people are like that are not like that are like, what the hell did you schedule it so far out? Because the way I do this is the way my brain works. I know it's like, what, Mariah? That don't make sense to me. But it's okay. Some people get it, some people don't. Aw. Are you leaving, Mildred? Oh, I appreciate that. I try my best. You expect that I plan out, and then I have to do it because like, then my brain like it will get upset because like I do get upset when I don't have a plan. Oh, see you, Mildred. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. And thanks for letting me know you were leaving because I always hate when I don't know you left and then like it makes me sad. I know it's probably weird, but it does make me sad when people leave and I don't know. It's probably like, what the hell, Mariah? That's weird, but it's true. Because I already formed like a bond with certain people, and I'm like, okay. I know that's weird, and I know it's probably like a parasocial relationship, but some people on here actually my online friends, so that's why I say it like that. It's not weird. Um, but I do understand there is lines where you don't go past. Yeah. I can't believe it's Monday. Sometimes I forgot it's supposedly President's Day. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, but okay. That's exactly what you were saying earlier. Wait, what were you saying earlier about what Mildred said? Wait, what did you say earlier? My brain is like, what did you say? Did I miss what you said? My God, if I did. Alright, stop stimming on your face. It's fine. Calm down. Oh, the parasocial relationship thing. To some extent, like the links of your favorite TV characters. Parasocial relationships actually. I don't know, but I do agree with that. But there's also with those particular parasocial relationships, I know where the line is. Like for I think the reason when parasocial relationships get unhealthy is when you go past the line, when the person set a boundary and you just go past it, like they didn't set it. Like I've had people that done that to me, and I really don't. Some of them I've gotten blocked, or some of them I just ignore. Like this one person online, I just muted him so he can't. Even if he messaged me, I can see it. But oh, hello. I just mute it so I don't have to read it. Like if I tell you not to do something, you just continuously do it. It ain't my fault when you get something happening. I don't feel bad. I can't. Like especially when someone doesn't respect my boundaries. And it seems like a lot of people. Well, some people, not a lot. Some people think, oh, Mariah set a boundary. I can just cross it over, keep doing it, and then eventually she'll listen to me. Like that's not how it works. If Mariah set a boundary and you continuously break it, eventually I'll get to a point where I either ignore you or I completely block you. Like, and that's not my fault because you didn't listen to what I said. That's more of what it is. That's Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. Fantasy comes into reality and like intermingle, and that's not no. That's a no. Like I don't mind someone connecting with me, but a lot of people connect a YouTube video to a live stream. Have you ever? No, I never even thought about that. Oh no, I never thought about that, Jerome. It's an interesting thought though. Boundaries when I tell someone no and just stop doing something and they continuously do it. Like this one guy, I think I told the story before. This one person online, I told him I don't want pictures, and he would just not listening to me. And I said I was not giving him any more opinions on anything, and he kept sending them. Then he got mad, like Mariah, why aren't you telling me what you think? Because I already told you clear as day, I'm not interacting with what you are sending me. So stop. And he kept doing it, so he got ignored. It's not my fault. This one, like, it's funny to me how people say, "Oh, Mariah, you're obsessed with me," but supposedly I was obsessed with him, which is not even true. He's the one that's become more obsessive with me than I have been with him, um, which is kind of insane in my opinion. Um, Back to saying, like Sarah, like that's what I'm saying. Social pair relationship. That's what that would be. Like he like continuously messages me, and I don't say nothing. So it's almost like it's almost like he thinks I owe him to talk to him. I don't owe anybody anything. If I want to talk to you, I will. Like, but I don't owe a person my time if I don't feel if I'm doing something. Like this reminds me of one of my exes when I was doing something, whatever I was doing, something important, and he was like, "Why aren't you messaging me?" And I'm thinking in my brain, I'm not owned by you. I'm not owned by anybody. I think people think that they own you and they're entitled to. I have to drop everything at that exact moment, and I need to answer. And that's not how it works. I've learned throughout my life if I feel comfortable answering, I'm allowed to answer if I want. That's my choice. If I don't feel comfortable answering, I'm doing something and I get back to you later, that's what I choose. Like the same way if roles were reversed. If I was doing something, I mean, if the person was doing something and I was messaging them and like I kept messaging them, that makes it to the point where no, I'm not talking. No, I'm not talking about exactly what you're talking about, Nick. I'm talking about the point where, like, it's the point where it almost becomes a nuisance. Is the point where it comes to a nuisance. Like you can hit some like people that message someone like 30 times plus. Luckily, that's never happened, but that's an example. Like someone continuously messaging you, like you told them you're doing something, and they literally message you like as if they didn't hear what the hell you said. And so if I tell you I'm doing something and you can message me, it ain't my fault if I don't respond. Um, like that's like days past. That's completely different because maybe the person's worried something happened to you. Like I've had that happen. Where I remember I was my this was in college when I think my sister and my best friend were trying to figure out where I was. I can't remember if I was going to class or it might have been. Oh, this is after we were doing. I had like I think a tutoring thing I went to, and they were trying to find me, and they couldn't, which is understandable. We're on the same campus. They came and was looking for me. They were like, I didn't know where you were at. They were worried. That's completely not the same thing because they were worried about my safety. So that's different. Now, where you're worried, the reason why the problem with the pictures and stuff is a thing because he assumed we were in some kind of relationship we were not in. Like he said, he was like, "Oh, we're friends." Yeah, I don't have I don't use my Instagram anymore, and I'm not saying my Facebook on here, because I don't want to. Plus, I don't feel like getting any messages because I'm kind of over that mess. Had too many guys doing things I don't really like. It's probably another reason I don't really like dealing with people that are guys that don't understand boundaries, which they haven't. A lot of them don't understand because they assume my kindness is just, oh, Mariah's kind and she'll keep being kind until I break her boundary and I continuously do it, and that's okay. The hell it is, by the way. Had my consent broken, so no. Um, I've learned throughout, like, learning certain, going through shitty experiences, some shitty crap, um, online. It's fine. It's okay, Mariah, to have boundaries. Like, I taught myself, Mariah, you're completely fine to have boundaries because you've had your boundaries violated to a point where you didn't feel safe online. That is how I felt at one point. With the sexual violation thing, I felt very unsafe, and it wasn't even just that one instance. There was other ones on different things where I had felt sexually violated with that because my consent wasn't even considered at all. And I hate when that happens. Like, this is probably why I have a problem with people. That's probably why I have issues with people that SA people and think it's okay to do that. See, I'm almost cursed too. Oh, I'm almost cursed. Um, yeah, I just don't like. I've just learned to. It's okay, Mariah, to have boundaries. Some people are like, what the hell do you have boundaries? Like, and people ask me what my boundaries are. Yet it's interesting how people ask me what my boundaries are, and then they break them. Like, what the hell was the one asking me? In my opinion, like, why did you ask me if you knew you were gonna break them? Um, do you ever? Did you ever figure out why he had no concept? I don't know. I don't know why people don't have concept of my boundaries. I'm not sure. I tell people my boundaries, and some of them, I think some men, not all, of course, think that it's just okay to do whatever the hell they want to do because they're the man and think they can do whatever the hell they want, and women have to comply. I know some cultures the man is seen as um higher than the woman, and the woman doesn't have any rights. What, like the hell? First off, like the hell that is accurate from Rod. Like the hell that's accurate for any damn woman. By the way, I have rights just like you do. Um, um, and I literally, I remember when the incident happened. I was telling my therapist about the time. I was like, this is my fault. I did first. That was the first thought I thought. I mean, of course, I know now it wasn't. And my therapist was like, that's not your fault. You can't possibly make someone do something, like that, especially if you didn't give your consent for it to just be done. Like, they just decided, okay, I'm gonna come on video camera like that. Like, honestly, it made me honestly scared. It makes me never. That's why I never, when anyone calls me on video chat that I do not know and is a male. I'm not saying I talk to females I don't know because I don't on video chat, but because they're a male. Oh, I didn't see what your sorry. I didn't see what your comment said, Shayla. I'm sorry. It didn't see one. I'm so sorry. Can you let me know what it is? And if you send me a comment, if you wrote a comment on my on any of my videos, I'll get to them after the stream is over. If you're talking about there. Oh, the milk and cookies one. I'm sorry, I missed what you said. You said you took. Wait, you took a mug stuffed it with cookies. Wait, what do you want me to say about it? I don't I don't like I don't like milk and cookies together. It's weird. I know it's weird. I like drinking the milk then eating the cookie. I don't put the milk in the cookies. Be kind, Jerome. Back to what I was saying. I just think it's important, regardless if you're a man or a woman, your consent is very important. And I say man or woman because both men and women can have their consent violated or not considered. It's never a one-sided thing because it's not just women that don't have their consent. Sorry, it's not just women that have their consent violated. Men can have their consent violated the same way women can. So I say that way. And Jerome, if you're gonna be mean, I'm not gonna be happy because that's gonna make me mad. Like you were doing fine in this, you were doing fine, and then all of a sudden you're starting to bother Shayla, and I don't like that. Sorry about that. I don't like when people bully people, other people, and like leave her alone, please. And I don't want to have to. I don't like having to. I really don't want to have to warn you again because eventually, if it comes to a point where I continuously see bullying, it will. It will. I would just have to block you because I told you I don't like bullying on this channel, and it's because and you know the reason why. I said it's a safe space for me and other people. Um, and I don't know what else to say on top of that. Um, you can talk, but just be kind, like I always say. Like the same way I taught was trying to teach this little boy this statement, even though he didn't. I don't think he understood it. He would always say the opposite of what I said. I would say tell. I was trying to teach him when I before I left the job I was at. I was tell him be nice, don't be mean. Even though he inversed my statement. He would say be mean, don't be nice. I That's the same one thing I would say on this channel. Be nice, don't be mean. If you don't have nothing, just like how they teach you when you're a little kid in school, where they say if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. That's what you could do, or just don't. Well, you could decide to ignore if you don't like what's being said. You could ignore it. Same with anyone else in this channel. Like I don't see the point of being mean for no reason. I like what did Shayla do to you? I didn't see her do anything. I just see you going out of your way to be mean to her for no reason at all, and I don't like that because it reminds me of the bullies I've had in my past, and I won't have someone doing that to someone. Not in my presence. The same way I felt when this girl, we were around the same age. Um, Someone tried to trip her, and that's me. That's what you're being, and I don't want you to be a bully. Hopefully, I don't have to ever say that again. But okay, back to what we were talking about. And I don't think anything's wrong with having cookies and milk. Like you can have that in moderation if you want to. Um, but dang, now I lost my thought. I forgot what I was talking about before this. Could someone remember what we were talking about? I literally forgot. Of course. Oh, thank you, consent. I was saying that it's important to acknowledge consent. Like, for example, we all know that if one person is drunk and one person is sober, the person who cannot give consent is the person that's drunk. So if the drunk person, even if they say, yes, you can do whatever, whatever, you already know that when someone is inebriated to the point where they can't, like, inebriated or drunk to the point where they can't clearly think, most likely their consent is not given. Like, I remember watching this episode on Switched at Birth when I think both parties were drunk, and so I think they both, if I remember right, they both had sex. The one character was like, I don't remember giving consent, and the guy was like, you gave consent. In my opinion, both parties could never get consent. So even if she gave consent when she was fully plastered or hammered, because she can't remember, it tells me that she couldn't possibly have given consent. That show was very interesting. I'm rewatching it on Hulu. It's called Switched at Birth. I watched it when it came out when I was in college, and it ended in I can't remember. I think it ended in 2000 and was it 2015? Which I would have been out of college by then. Yeah, that was a good show. That was the first show I ever saw where sign language was used. American Sign Language was used in they literally. It was kind of cool because you got to see the perspective of what it's like to like not to be able to physically hear someone speaking. So they would sign, but they would have the subtitles on the bottom so you could read what they're saying, which is awesome because it made me, I was like, oh my gosh, what are they saying? The only part that sucked is when it was on air. If you missed a part and were looking at it, you would literally miss the whole conversation. That's the only part. Like, for example, if I miss a part, I can literally back it up and watch it again. But when it was on TV, you couldn't do that. Like, when it was live, like, it was like the first time it's premiering, you can't back it up and like rewatch the episode. Um, no, not the whole show was an ASL. There are characters, there are real people that actually are deaf on the show that they would be signing, and they did it. It was amazing. I was just kind of intrigued by like because I never experienced what sign language was like. I've seen it before, like because my cousin taught me some when I was young, but then I had forgot about it. Um, and then and then this show came out like when I was a teenager. So well, I guess technically I was a young adult, but I had never seen a show where I had never seen a show where they incorporated both hearing and deaf people in it, and like it was very intense, and like I loved how they also had they tied it together where um like yeah, I know it didn't sound right, but like the reason why I say physically because basically we got to see the perspective of what it was like. It was you got the people that were the audience got to see the perspective of what it was like if you were deaf. Like you couldn't hear anything, literally, you couldn't hear anything. So it was really interesting. I'd never seen a show like that where you actually are like the person who couldn't actually. I don't. If you watch the show, you'll know what I'm talking about because that's exactly how I felt. I felt like I couldn't hear like I was the person who was deaf. And I know, of course, I know I'm not deaf, but you get the kind of perspective of what it would have been like if you couldn't physically hear, like, or I know it sounds weird, but you know what I mean. People that are deaf, like if I was actually physically deaf, like if I was deaf, if I could not hear what is happening, which I can't imagine not hearing because I've heard all my life, so I don't even know how I'd interact if I was like deaf. I'm not saying I couldn't adapt, but it'd be like probably more challenging because I'm so used to being able to hear. So like I do wonder if people that go deaf like later on in life do if they could speak at one point, does there like do they eventually develop a deaf accent? Yeah, see you know what I'm talking about, Nick, because that would happen in that show. So like, but this was completely different because it would happen at random points of the show because you're like, oh, I got to pay attention because you see them just signing and you don't. Oh, hello, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? I don't know what to call you. I'm not calling you that. I can't do it. What do you want me to call you? I can't call you that. I feel weird. What is your name? I don't want to call you that. I know it's not offensive. I just rather call you a name. Um, but yeah, like I thought it was interesting to see how you see people that are deaf and people that are hearing interact with one another. And I really thought it was interesting how they show the frustration of people of each side, like how like they thought because if they yell at the people they'll hear them, which made no bloody sense, by the way. It made no sense at all. Like you think if you yell at them it's gonna make them actually be able to hear you. I don't quite understand that because their ears still don't work. So what did you think was gonna work? Like it will just make people that can hear you have to tell you to be quiet or stop talking so loud. For some people that are deaf, they can read lips. Others, I'm not sure. I wonder how they read lips, but I know you have to talk slower, which I don't think I would master very well because I've tried talking slow and it does not work. It makes my brain upset because it's basically saying, Mariah, you have to train your brain to make your voice sound slower, and it's not very easy. And I don't know if that's because of the ADHD or being autistic. I don't know. It could also be the anxiety, a mix. Yeah. Wait, my chat's not broken, right? Oh, good. You just proved it. You proved. Yeah, I can't read lips. I can't. I've tried. Because I tried one time muting something and see if I could read the lips. Like, I can't do it. Which means, yeah, I don't know how. If I was like deaf, I don't know how I'd do that part. Like, you said hearing. Oh, wait. Does that mean do you think that your family has Meniere's disease? Sorry. That was I realized really just realized that was a very personal question, Nick. My bad. If you don't want to answer, that's fine. World's biggest geek. If you're here, what do you want me to call you? Because I can't call you that. I feel weird calling you that. I don't. Oh, you don't think so? I did a video on Meniere's disease back in I don't remember somewhere. If you just put in Meniere's disease, you'll find it. I can't remember what time last year I did it. I think it was sometime. I think it was sometime in July. I think could have been maybe earlier than that, but it was sometime last year, which is weird to say because it doesn't feel like February of a new year at times. Yeah. Hmm. Your sister became deaf in one ear, and your mom needs hearing aids now. Oh wow. Does that mean you had to learn South African Sign Language then? Or I should say, do you know some South African Sign Language then? Um well, I'm glad that you feel comfortable saying that. Hmm. Oh, so they just use their hearing. Oh, so they just use their hearing aids. Aids. Um. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Did they ever want to learn that? I'm just asking. You don't have to answer, I promise. I just my brain see this is what happens and I think this is what happens. This is called impulsive Mariah. When she thinks the question she just like acts. Oh. Also the lip oh. Wait, but that means you probably talk that means you probably talk at appropriate like speed. Yeah. I don't really know how to do that. I know people have told me Ryan, you slow down. But some of them, I know they don't say it because they're deaf. They just say it to like get under my skin. Some people. Um. Yeah. I really do tend to talk really fast. It's just a natural thing. Even my mom and my dad tell me to slow down sometimes. Um. Don't really. Honestly, it's just the speed I go. I can't. I don't really know. It's kind of automatic. People are probably like, "What the hell, brah? This is automatic." I don't really know. It's the same way as how certain mannerisms are automatic for. You said being a male, your voice is genuinely easier for people to. Really? That's like, what do you. Wait. That's not fair. Wait, are you saying because I'm a woman I talk fast? I don't know what that means. I don't know. I know you're not attacking me. I'm kidding. I don't really know. I just talk fast in general. I don't know. I didn't always used to speak, so maybe that's another reason why I talk fast. Because I don't feel like they'll. I do wonder if I speak fast because I feel like if I don't. Wait, how do I smile and keep it? What do you mean? Like this? Um, I learned to spot. Oh, because you have deeper. Because deeper voices have a lower. Real. That's bull. That's not. I mean, that's not fair then. Because I have a. Oh, I don't know. Wait, your classmates speak faster than me. Dang. Well, I guess no, but people always be telling me in the videos and some of the so people tell me under the videos to slow down. I do genuinely. The funny thing is because I even though I talk fast, I have a low volume, very a low my voice is low. Not as in like a deep voice. I mean low as in it's not loud when I speak naturally. Um, wait, what do you mean by how do I smile and keep it? What do you mean? I'm trying to figure out what you mean by that part. Sheila, I don't quite understand. Can you explain, please? You're taller than me. I'm only 5'4". Um, my favorite part of being myself is walking on my tippy toes, even though I know no one else in my family does that. It's not weird. I know it's an autistic thing. I kind of like it, even though at times I don't realize I'm doing it. My mom is the first one who told me, Mariah, do you know you walk on your tippy toes? I swear I didn't know until she told me. Oh, you don't know? Oh, you just asked? Oh, okay. No, I'm just acting because some people do. I know some autistics have trouble smiling. I don't have trouble smiling unless someone forces me to. Um, yeah, I don't. I tried talking flat, but oh my gosh, I hated that mess. I tried. Oh my gosh, I was really. I tried to walk flat, but I was like my body did not like this. I really did. But it is autistic. It's an autistic trait to walk on your tippy toes. I did not know that. I learned it. Supposedly, my college PE teacher told me I run on my tippy toes. I had no idea I did that either. I mean, even it's funny that she told me that because not even any of the people I used to like run on teams, I never was told that. Maybe they didn't realize. Walking flat footed on the if I put my foot on the floor and walk, it's like my brain does not like that. Do I know Miko? No, I've never heard of Miko. A nonverbal 4-year-old. No, I've never heard of him. I think it's a boy. Is it a boy or girl? I don't want to call it because it could be a girl. Wait, is Miko a boy or girl? I would like to know that. The gentle life family. No, I don't really watch family vlogs, to be honest. Oh, it's a girl. I thought maybe it was a girl because maybe I thought maybe it possibly could have been a girl too because I know sometimes names are. I did think that was a girl. It's kind of funny. No, I never heard of her. I do also know that it's possible for a nonverbal person to be able to speak because I volunteered with some before I worked in the school system and there was a kid that was fully nonverbal and then I know the person I used to work with when I was volunteering was like she was telling me the teacher had told me that she can speak. Oh, she does speak a little bit. I remember one thing I think is important for kids that are either can't speak too much or have trouble speaking. I think it's important um, for nonverbal kids to be exposed to sign language because it's another form of communication. Like the past job I had working with kids that were like similar to me, as I let's be honest, as I am as an adult and as I was as a child, we which I wish it was taught when I was a kid, about sign language. They should have incorporated that in school, but I never saw it. Yeah. Oh, good. I was gonna say, because I was gonna say maybe I was gonna say if she can't speak, at least teach her some signs if she knows like how to communicate some. But never mind. You already said that part, so that's good. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, because we were teaching one of the non this nonverbal girl like signing like if she instead of her like I know we know she couldn't talk, but instead of her whining like for example, or she could point. We told her she could point. Um, or she could sign it like if she wants more. She could sign that. If she wants something to eat or drink, like to sign, we showed her the signs. The one time when she did more, I was so happy. I like literally, I was like, I almost cried some because I'd never seen her son before, never ever. And I signed to her like more. Do you want more? And I was like in my brain, I didn't think I'm not saying she couldn't get it. I just didn't know if it was, you can't. There was no way for me to know if she was absorbing what I was saying. Because of course, I know it's possible for her to absorb it, but I didn't know if she was grasping what I was saying because she couldn't verbalize it. But then, of course, we know not, um, not speaking is not, you can have different forms of communication, signing, pointing, assistive technology, that's a form, I know we were trying to get, I don't know if they ever got it, and we were trying to get this computer to work for this one kid. I don't know if we ever got it because it would always malfunction when we would try to use it for this one kid. I don't know if they ever got it fixed or not. Um, but yeah, that's what was the hack before I left the job because it was causing me a mental and emotional breakdown and physically got harmed from that job. But yeah. Well, I think that's cool that you know sign language. That's another way of form of communication. Like I think that's important. Like to have different forms of communication. So if you lose one, and I think that's probably more why it's important. Like I think all hearing people should probably also know sign language. Because if they lose their ability to speak, which is possible, you can lose your ability to speak multiple ways. Like a stroke that you could lose because it could affect wherever the part of the brain that can be damaged is your speech. Um, it can cause speech impediments. It can cause anything. It can even cause you to lose your ability to speak. I do wish they did teach that when I was a kid. I think it's really interesting that it is a method of communication for people that are nonverbal. Oh wow, that's awesome. I'm glad you can say all that. I don't know if I know. I do remember some of them. I do know one is mom and one is dad. I forgot which way it goes. I forgot what this one is. This one is like something, and I forgot what it is. Bloody. Um, I do remember some of my sign language. I do not remember everything because I did not stick with it, so I don't remember everything. I do remember certain signs. Like I remember drinking, eating. I did used to know the sign for friends, mom and dad. I learned this when I took college sign language in college as an elective, but I forgot them because I didn't stay on top of it. Also, I had a deaf professor. That was an interesting experience because I felt like that I was in her playing field, but I was not in my playing field because this was something she was fluent at. Like she was like the way she like when she tested us like for a grade, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not because I'm not good at test taking. First off, I have test anxiety. It's always been a thing. It's always been a thing, but being tested and you're like this is like not your playing field even if I like studied for it and practiced for the test my brain because I'm dyslexic on top of it I'm autistic dyslexic and ADHD being of course I know the dominant hand is the hand you write with you use your dominant hand to sign your recessive hand is flat your dominant hand is the one you do so like my right hand is my dominant hand. My recessive hand is my left hand. So whatever I'm signing, I will use my right hand to do. Like for example, if you're left-handed, your dominant hand would be your left, and your recessive hand, or the hand that doesn't do anything, unless it's needed, which most likely it's not always needed. It has sometimes, like for example, when you have two things like this, for more you need both your hands. Um, like for like command for certain things yeah so you would be my opposite so you'd be the left hand and then the right hand would do nothing for me I'm right-handed so I would use my right hand like this means help what else do I know I do remember I guess like I used to remember like I remember there was a time where the job I used to have before the job I worked with neurodivergence. I had used to work at a this was right after I went from college. Everyone uses their right hand for something. Wait, what? I don't want think I want to know what that means. But I meant for sign language. But I'm talking about you have to, for anyone that is doing things. I don't know if it's the same in South Africa, but I know in the U.S. that the dominant it probably is the same rule with the maybe like the signs are different but the dominant hand is the one you're supposed to use and the other one's supposed to be it's like a resting hand in my opinion is what I call it I don't know if it's a proper term but I used to know how to sign my name I remember when I was working at a before and after care. I don't even want to know. I'm good. I'm good, Shayla. No thanks. But um, I remember when the kids were trying to learn how to sign their name. I would teach them how to sign. I remembered learning it because it was right after we had graduated, which meant I still had it fresh in my mind, kind of. So I remembered how to sign. I do remember toilet is like that. Uh, I'm trying to think. I remember certain things. Like I do remember certain ones. I don't remember everything. I kind of wish I did remember everything, but then I feel like if I had someone, I feel like if I had someone that if I knew someone that was actually deaf, I do know that means thank you. I think this. What the heck does this one? This one. I think this one either means please or graduate from high school. 2010. Um. Thinking. I'm trying to think. My brain. I thought this one means please, but I can't think. This one means thank you. There was one that means you're welcome, and I forgot. Bloody. Um. Yeah. Which one means thank you? This one means thank you. I heard. Well, when my deaf professor taught me, this one means thank you. This one I think means. I think this one means please. Bloody, I forgot because it's been so long. I forgot. Uh, yeah, I think I remember based on what my professor. I do remember that one. There was one that means. Dang. There was one I know that there's ones where you use your forehead and your side of your face, and I don't remember which one is what. You say you don't know why they're different. Probably because of different countries, Nick. It's probably based on the country because of basically how to differentiate like languages, I think. I think that's why it's done like that because you know how you have different languages in different countries. I think it has probably similar to how you are in sign language. You have different ways of learning. Like you know how some people like for example, let me give you an example. Like how I forgot what country they read from right to left instead of left to right. It's probably similar to like how you also have I each of the countries probably have different sign languages because it's based on the how do I explain? I'm trying to say it in a way that sounds not rude. Because I feel like if I said it, I feel like if I say what I'm thinking, it's going to sound rude, but I know that's an autistic tendency. My point is, I think the way that they structured ASL for different countries, we have BSL where um where it's British. They got stuff for the UK. They got stuff for. I'm sure they have stuff all over the. They probably have Japanese sign language. I know they have one in uh dang. I know they have one here. I think they have one in the Philippines. I think this or was it Thailand? I can't remember. I saw it on it was on 9 Day Fiance. One of the people there were two deaf cast members. Well, one that was hard of hearing and one that was deaf. The guy was deaf and he was from the U.S. And the girl who was hard of hearing, I think she was either from Philippines or Thailand. So she had a different sign language than he did. So I don't really know how. I don't know. So I don't know how that is like. I don't know. You said you know exactly what I mean. You know, okay, I think, no, I do understand what you mean. I do understand exactly what you're saying. But I do wonder if it's because of the languages, why they try to make different sign languages, because you know how you different languages. That's just, I literally don't know if that's the reason, but that's the only thing I could think of, for that being a reason to do that. I don't understand. I don't know any other reason why. Um, yeah. Wait, what about China? You're saying China is where they do from right to left. Some reason I thought it was Japan too because of the manga stuff. I don't know. That's what I thought because anime and stuff, but maybe I'm wrong. That's just a thought. I don't know if I'm right because I know I can be wrong on many things. Oh man. Any last questions? Wait, so Nick, you said you wanted to be one of my moderators, but I know you said you didn't want to be permanent. Is that what you said, right? I just want to make sure because I can add you before I forget because my brain be getting it gets a lot of information into it. Then it's like, okay, Mariah, we need to spit some of it out. So that's just how my brain works. You said why I can't. Okay, let's see if I can. I wish there was a way to do like temporary mods on this thing here. Okay. Okay, there you go. You said you think everyone. This is what you. I'm just reading what Shayla says. She's talking to you, Nick. Everyone made differently and from different countries. Yeah, that is very possible. Like I said, I this is what a biased opinion that I think I don't know for a fact. Yeah. Um, I'm very curious to see who's gonna. I'm very curious to see who's gonna show up to this Saturday's live stream, which is gonna be on the topic of autistic friendly jobs. Doing those particular streams, I like those because it tells me what could be possible for people that are also that doesn't take it. Let's just be honest. That one also doesn't take into account if you're autistic and an ADHDer because like the same with last week's live stream for ADHD friendly jobs. It didn't take into account if you're autistic and ADHD or an autistic because I was telling people like even said on the stream, I said it doesn't take into account that. Hmm, you're fine. Um, I know you do. You don't have to tell me that, Nick. I know. Last week, actually, last Saturday. Well, the Saturday that just passed, that stream was not bad because we didn't have any trolls, so we're good. Most people wait till after they experience person. Hmm. Wait. Hold on. Let me read that again. Most people wait to, I think you meant to, maybe you said till after? Okay. Well, Nick has been here for like maybe a few months. Um, he came into my Monday stream randomly. I don't remember when it was, sometime last year. He's been on this channel for a while, actually. Yeah. My Saturday streams are on at 12 p.m., not a.m., 12 p.m. Eastern. They're always, like, my Saturday streams are always on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. My Monday streams are are every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then my special streams vary because I have to figure out when I want to put them. Really? Was that? Oh wow, that's the third. That means you've been in here since September, so it's almost been 6 months. I didn't realize it'd been that. It will be 6 months next month. That's crazy. Well then, dang, I didn't realize it'd been. Well, that means it's 5 months now, and it'll be 6 months next month, which is crazy to me. You sleeping for like that is a lot. I did not realize. I knew we've been doing these Monday streams since September. Like I think the first one was on the second or the first. Which I didn't actually think anyone would ever like any of these. So I was like, okay, we'll just try and see what happens. But people seem to really like it, and different people from different parts of the world came, and like, I really wish Chill was in here because I wanted to see if you guys would. I want to see if you guys are gonna tell me about the darts game, like, cause I still want you and him to do darts, Nick. It's not weird. It's not, cause it's like you are like friends. I say loosely friends because you don't actually know each other, but you could be friends. Um. Oh, I saw my dimple. Yay! I'm not weird. I don't see it often. Um. And yeah, and that's also too because I know you guys were trying to find like a game you guys could play. It was oh, that's really good. Honestly, I've been doing this for how many years? I've been a YouTuber for almost 6 years. Wait, is it 6? No, it'll be 6 this year in September. I've been doing this only recently. Like honestly, in the last year, this channel has grown way beyond what I thought. Like this time last year, I was only at like 300 subscribers, I think, which is why it's surprising that in a year it's gotten to this point. Because I didn't used to stream constant. I didn't used to stream or do videos, do shorts at all on the channel. So I know the inspiring videos is probably what got this up to this point. Like the doing this inspiring. Yeah, I only have one. This one in my face, and it doesn't always come out. It's very annoying. Um, yeah, it's insane how this community's been. There have been some jerks in here, and there have been some awesome people. There's one of my subscribers who was on here earlier. She's bought six drawings for me. She makes me feel like an accomplished artist. Like I didn't never thought anyone would like my art to the point where they'd actually buy it. And like I mean I know people have told me they like my art, but to me, someone buying it tells me that actually my art actually means something. She said it's the reason. No, I mean my inspiration. I meant my inspirational videos. I have these inspirational thoughts I share every day. I've been doing that since I think I started putting them online since like last year. I think I don't remember if it was the beginning of last year because I've started like doing them daily, every single day. It's a section called on my if you're looking for it, it's a section a playlist called Inspiring Thoughts from My Mind because they actually did come from my mind. I actually think of them. Yeah, I really didn't think I never thought anyone would ever be interested in my art to the point where they'd buy it. I just never thought that happened. Like my art and the stuff on the people that support me on Patreon and Coffee. Oh, that's the reason. That's the way to keep. Well, I'm glad you think that. I didn't have playlists at one point. I decided let me do that because I realized certain content is different than others. Like my poems, I didn't think people would like them or relate to them. I was surprised by that. My creative stories, I didn't think anyone would relate to them either. My personal experiences, didn't think people would relate to that. There's a lot of things I didn't think people would relate to. I definitely didn't think people would relate to my art. Uh, oh yeah, I have the Patreon and the coffee to support the channel. I mean, so far it's been okay-ish. I honestly didn't think anyone would support me because most people say they're gonna do things and they don't do them. So I'm used to people letting me down, to be honest. Both in real life and online. Um, yeah. Oh yes, this week's video, oh yeah, I forgot to say this. This week's video is coming out on Wednesday for paying Patreons, is on the topic of ADHD inertia, and it'll be coming on YouTube and everywhere else on my social medias on Saturday, this Saturday at 6 p.m. Both of them come on, I'm on Saturdays. Uh, I put my heart into all this stuff. It's hard. Which is why when people like just push it aside, it makes my heart hurt because like disability community is my passion. So when people reject it, it's almost like you're rejecting me. Same with my art. That's how I feel about it. Like I feel like when people don't even like acknowledge it, it's like you're disregarding me. Like that's how I feel. Um, so yeah. Um, I do love you have ADHD, PTSD, autism, scoliosis, and you think that's it? There ain't nothing wrong with having any of those, to be honest. I embrace my disabilities, and I would love for other people to embrace theirs. I even did a live stream on that last year about that. Like, um, I know people are like, why you embrace them instead of just like don't define yourself by them, but I don't feel nothing wrong about defining myself by what I have because like I can't ever like they're a part of me and they'll never not be a part of me. Like I will live with them my whole life. There's nothing wrong with that. Um I know people are probably like, why? Because they make up me, and I don't want to not have them because then I wouldn't be Mariah. Um, my favorite, my three favorite videos that I made are my three favorite videos that I've made is the one that I think I told someone in this chat about. They're not in here right now. It was what it's like to be autistic, my experience, what it's like to be dyslexic, my experience, and what it's like to be an ADHD or my experience. Those three videos, I was actually really surprised to see how many people related to them and say this is like what they've gone through, because the reason I say that is because when I was a child and growing up, I did not realize there were so many people that were very similar to me, because I didn't have like that kind of example. Oh, someone like someone is like autistic or dyslexic. I never had any of those though, because I grew up, like lived through my experiences, but I just assumed I'm just Mariah. Like literally things that I didn't know were autistic, dyslexic, or ADHD. Well, I knew stuff about dyslexic. The other two I did not really know about, so I would call when I didn't know what if it was something else. I would always call it Mariah thing, because I'm like, I don't know if anyone else deals with this. I just know Mariah deals with it, so I would just call it a Mariah thing. And when I learned other people like go through the same similar things I did, I used to even think, oh, Mariah, you must be like some kind of alien, because you like don't act, you don't really act human. You just act very kind of out of this world kind of thing. Like, it's not it's not supposedly acceptable in society. And one thing I've learned as being Mariah and being fully myself, which I've learned to do because of my ex, because he taught me it's Mariah, it's completely fine to be fully yourself. I never realized that, but I realized it's a completely 100% fine to be fully you and authentically you, because people will accept it. You said you were told for many years that you have multiple sclerosis as well. Oh, you think, and you also said you think that it's yeah, I think it. Well, I also there's another reason. You say you didn't see. I want when I say being different, I equate being different to my disability. For myself, that's what I do. I equate that to being for my disability. Even wrote a poem about being different, and it was equated to my disabilities. Um, uh, but that's also the way I dealt with it, because I didn't have people that were similar to me. And when I say similar to me, like I knew of people that had disabilities, but I was never, my disability wasn't as never as severe as theirs. And also when I was a kid, I went to this class that was considered special ed. I'm not sure if it's still called that now. Those things have evolved, over time. But I remember those kids were not anywhere in the general education classes, which made me kind of annoyed now I think about it. Because back then I didn't think about it, because I was a child. I was growing up. I didn't realize. I did think about it was ostracizing, and I wondered why they. I did always wonder why they were never. I never saw those kids. I did think about that, but then I guess maybe in my brain at the same time, like maybe maybe then I thought maybe that's the best environment, but at the same time I also wondered, like, is that what would have happened to me if I was significant, supposedly, I will just say like a significantly um challenged, or shouldn't say challenged, had significant disabilities where I had to be apart from people that were in the gen ed classes. Like for me and myself, Mariah, I was inclusion classes, which are classes where you have IEPs and 50. I don't even know. I'm not sure if there was any people with 504s. There might have been back then. I just don't know. I knew I had an IEP. At certain accommodations I could acquire. Of course, as you grow, you get either more or lesson or adapted changed accommodations, which is a thing. I didn't realize back when I was a child that I didn't know back when I was a teenager and a child, I didn't realize when you get to college, you don't get the same kind of accommodations when it comes to, you don't get the same, you have to actually go to literally get tested. It was annoying, I ain't gonna lie. I had to literally go and get tested. My mom had to set it up where we had to get test. I had to get tested over several hours, and I think it was a couple of days and several hours of testing to get my accommodation for college, which shouldn't even. I think what I just think it's stupid. You got to pay more money to get accommodation, but you still should have, which in my opinion, should transfer over and just be modified when you go to college. But that's not how it works. I guess it's stupid in my opinion. So you said, um, you also realized much later in life why our classes were divided into. I hated being divided into different groups. I literally hated that mess. I really, really hated that. That's the one thing I hated. I hated that in elementary school. Like I was embarrassed, and my mom. I told her later on. She didn't realize. I told her the reason I hated that, cause it made you feel. Well, at least I don't know about you, but you're also not me. It was trauma for me. Because it told me I wasn't on the same level as my sister and my other classmates. It made me feel like I was less than them. But I know it helped me progress and whatever. But at the time, when you have everyone singled out in the classroom and pulled out in the hallway and traded and things, it made it seem like, oh, these kids are better than these kids. These kids are better than the other kids, and these kids are less. And that's what it made me feel like. Um, it made me feel like I know we need extra support. I get that now. I didn't get it back then as much because I thought, what the hell? We all got to go in the hallway and we got to swap classes, and this is what we're doing. It almost made me feel like a spectacle, even though I know it's probably not what was happening. My mom said, I wish you had told me this. Like, that's what she told me. She told me later on, like, when I told her. I said, I used to literally hate when we had to do that because it was like, I knew it was different levels. I'm sorry. It was clear as hell. I'm sorry. It was clear. Even if they didn't say it, I knew. I know. I'm not. I think I'm probably was more perceptive than most. I do think it's my being autistic thing. I always knew because I knew the class I was in. Well, the class that I had to go with my other group mates. I knew we were at under grade level. I knew it immediately. I didn't even. I knew my sister. I knew my sister's I knew she was smarter than me, but that has nothing to do with that. She doesn't make me feel less than, or worse. But I felt worse because this is a little bit after the time with the emotional trauma from my grandmother. So it just made me probably made me feel less than I already felt, way worse than that. Because it's like, oh, it's acknowledging that Mariah has a thing that makes her not different, that's not the word I want. Makes her have to do things that I have to. Well, I've always had to work hard to get to where I wanted to, but that's part of being who I am. But it's to a point where it made me have to realize, oh, Mariah, I've always known I struggled with English and English, like language stuff and reading, and I knew that, and I didn't realize back then that was because I'm dyslexic. I just thought, oh, Mariah, this is literally, we're pinpointing the area that you were wounded in, and now, okay, we're going to, like, oh, let's show the whole bloody world. That's what my brain was thinking at the time. I think it was thinking, oh, everybody's gonna know. That's exactly what I think my brain was thinking at the time. Even though I couldn't probably translate it, I was thinking, oh, this is what we got to do. Oh, me, Mariah, and the others have to go in a class where they get individualized help, where a group-based help, where it helps improve their reading skills. I mean, now looking at it, I understand why it was done, but it didn't take away the harm that I still had, the trauma I had attached to. Oh, Mariah is just being singled out, even though I technically wasn't being singled out. That's why I took it as, because, like, let's be honest, everybody in the bloody school in those classes knew which kids were going into the specialized, like, advanced reading, the ones who got grade level, and the ones that were under grade level. And they knew, for particularly, I'm pretty sure they knew the class students that were under grade level, because they knew that particular that I rather what I wish they would do is what they do now. What I did with the kids, like I pulled them out. I feel better than pulling them out and not taking the classroom. That's why I would have rather they did that way. I wish they had done. They should have. What I wish they would have done is waited till the kids that were under grade level out, and then that's what I would have done at least. Waited till the grade level kids, sorry, the people that read under grade level were pulled out, and then they could swap their classes because it made me feel like, oh, Mariah, you don't got any value because you can't read on the level you're supposed to. You read way, but you read like I know I read back then. I don't know if I still read under grade level. I don't know, but back then I think I read a couple grades under grade level, and I always knew. I had problems with reading fluency, reading comprehension. I knew that. I always knew. But I feel like in that moment it was spotlighted. Um, honest, honestly, I just think I wish they would have done it that way when I was a child, where they pulled like how I went into classes. Like that's what I wish they would have done. They either went into classes with me, but I also knew they couldn't do that back then. That's what I did. I used to go into classes when I was working with inclusion kids because I wish I could have done that. Would have been what happened to me, but I know with the case level they had, it was probably hard to do. And then also I think I do believe that back when I was a kid, that the cognitive disability that I have, or the cognitive disabilities, I have more than one. Because autism, ADHD, and dyslexia are all in this are cognitive disabilities. But which I did not know, which makes sense why I was classified with a cognitive disability back then. I think my mom was telling me back in the 90s, the early 90s, that is when I don't know for a fact. This is what she told me. Autism was newly being diagnosed. It might have been true for the states. I have no idea. I don't know if it's true or not because I wasn't. I was a little kid, so I can't know. And also, the thing that my mom was telling me is when the people like were testing, because they have to come in and test for for disabilities and trying to get accommodation and everything. They had to do it. They think I do suspect that that's what I suspect, but I was the person that was happening to. I suspect that I didn't tell because there are telltale signs that people tend to look to for if you're autistic, dyslexic, and an ADHD. There's typical signs you look for, and I think because I did not probably have the telltale signs you normally see in each of the disabilities. Like for me, like being dyslexic, you would think I'd actually be really bad at spelling, like all that. Like I didn't realize back then that dyslexia was a reading disorder. I had no idea. Like I've learned that through research now. I did not know that as a child. Um, I know being autistic, I probably didn't. I know some of the stuff that I used to do as a child, I stopped doing. So they might not saw some of those. I see them as an adult. I see what, even through the paperwork my mom gave me for my college accommodation, which I went and I did 4 videos on those. There's my psychological evaluation. I did a video on all 4 different ones because someone wanted to because someone was talking about getting accommodation. So I went through that, and um, I see autistic signs through that, like holding pencils a certain way, like certain things that I did, I could see autistic tendencies in. But of course, because I don't have the telltale signs, it's possible that I definitely see the dyslexic, and I could see the dyslexic because of the lefts and rights I could never grasp. I still have issues with that today, but that's also being dyslexic. The shoe tying, it could be honestly, it could be between dyslexic and it could be between. I know that's an autistic thing. Shoe tying was always hard for me. My mom had showed me how to tie my shoes for a good amount of time, and then I used this shoe tying book to finally get how to do it. Like things that are common, easy for people that don't have disabilities, are typically more challenging for people that do. That was one of them. I had a shoe tying book, and I was going to, I thought we had it here, and I was going to say, Mom, I said, can I give this shoe tying book to, I was going to give it, if I found it, I would have gave it to this little, I forgot who it was. I was gonna give it to one of the kids at our job, at my job, because I wanted him to learn how to tie his shoes, so I didn't have to always do it. Only because I wanted him to learn, because that's a good skill to learn. Because there may not always be someone around you. But yeah. Uh, there's like a lot of stuff in my past I see as like stems. I see stems throughout my life. Like when my sister was like I learned how to learning how to like my stimming is I like my biting my nails was a stem. I didn't know that. I used to do that. I don't know what made me stop. Probably got a new stem without knowing. Um, what else? Like I don't. There's certain things I don't like touching me. Like my hair touching the back of my neck, I freaking hate that mess. And then I know it's an autistic tendency. I literally hate like one time my hair swiped the back of my neck. I was like, what the hell is that? I thought it was like some kind of bug. It was like a thing for real. I know it's an autistic. That's a trait. There's a lot of I sometimes don't know where the autistic, ADHD, or dyslexic side start and stop. I don't. That's the one thing I literally don't always know. Like because they probably co-minglate or whatever, they interact with one another. Like the ADHD and the autistic side, they overlap often, and so I don't know where sometimes where one stops and one starts. It's kind of funny because my ADHD and my autistic sides are complete opposites. Like one is impulsive, one is orderly. One is very detailed, one is like messy and chaotic. Like so, it's a mess. Um, like no, but it actually wasn't a bug. It's just my hair. It's an autistic thing. I'm hypersensitive to things. Like my dad. I don't think my parents get it. I tell my dad, but I don't think he understands sometimes. Like I can hear things most people cannot. Like I hear electricity. I didn't realize everyone. I did not know everyone does not hear electricity. Like I can hear like I can hear when the AC is about to come on. I can tell. I can tell when the I can smell like things that most people like when the gas is on real. I can smell it. Um, I can hear the electricity of the lights, the fan when it's on. The even when the microwave's not being used, I can hear this. When I open the thing, I can hear the electricity. The clock, I can hear electricity. The base. My point is, I can hear things most people don't hear. Like I know those are autistic things, even though probably it could be ADHD too. It could be both, and they probably it might be why two senses both of those are heightened. Like no, I still hear them. Like I literally can still hear them to this day. Like I can hear like even like for one thing I really hate is when there's a okay this one time that is there's a few sounds of pet peeves. The lawnmower irritates me because of my misophonia. A squeaky wheel when it wheels down the hall that irritates me because in my past job this I could literally hear the freaking there was a squeaky wheel on one of the carts someone was pushing down the hall. Yeah, it's part of being autistic. It's like I told you, my senses are heightened, very very heightened. So what would not irritate someone else? It's super loud for me. Like my mom, I will ask my mom or dad, can they hear something? And they're like, no, Mariah, what? They almost look at me like, what are you talking about? Um, like. Like for you, you probably don't. I'm not saying you can't hear the rain when it's raining, but I can hear it even when it's faint. And it's kind of annoying, let's be honest, because it affects my sleep. Like I'm not even looking at around my room, and I look at like how orderly I organize things. Like I have to have things in a particular order. It's kind of interesting because it's like it's organized, but it's also a mess at the same time. It's like I said, beautiful chaos. It's kind of funny because I feel like it merges both my um autistic autistic side and my ADHD. Um yeah, I'm sure everyone can hear it when it's loud. I mean when it's light, it's not barely raining. I would call it and I know it's both my sides merging together. I do wonder when I do wonder I do wonder when if I start to die, which I don't want to happen, but of course I'm gonna die one day. I do wonder if those senses, if I start to die, will they fade off those senses that are heightened, or will they get sharper? Because they're already sharp enough. Like people were like, Mariah, because it's funny to me that you say you're surprised when I can remember something. One thing I do say is quite funny. I do have a really good long memory. My mom and my dad will sometimes say, my dad will tell me sometimes, Mariah, you remember that? Because he'll tell, because I'll say something and then I think he's shocked that I can remember it. Like my working memory is bad, but I don't know if that's because of the dyslexia or the ADHD. Why the working memory is not so good. But yeah. Um, I don't know. If it does, it does. I mean, it wouldn't be that bad because at least it means my sense would be normal like yours, like normal, not heightened all the time. Because sometimes they get on my nerves, and sometimes I wish I could turn my ears off. Particularly the one of the worst sounds I ever heard is when the plane comes so close to our house. I hate it. It's like, look, why are you doing this? It's like torture. I have to like cover my ears sometimes. When my like when if my family is all talking at once, I have to cover my ears. My brain gets overwhelmed, and I know that's an autistic thing, because I can't. It's like I can't process what you're doing. You're doing all this stuff, and I know they're not doing it on purpose, but I've had it happen more than once. Like I can't process what you're saying. Like I gotta get away from this. And I know that people don't intend to do that, but I don't think people understand that an autistic ADHD and dyslexic brain like mine, it doesn't work in the same way that someone that can just turn off their darn ears or whatever, how it works. My brain does not thrive. Yes, see, I'm good. You got good filter. Yeah, I can't work. I'm glad I don't work where you work because I don't think I can do that. I don't like. I need like peace and quiet at times, and noise is okay at a point, but all the time, the heck no. That's a heck no. Like that's no. I need um yeah, that's a no. Um um anything else? I don't know if I have anything else to say. I probably should eat soon. I probably should eat because it's almost 9 o'clock, even though I'm not happy about it. Hmm, you don't have to. Yes, you know, you don't have to. What? Yeah, no, I don't deal with noisy. I need people like to calm down and like if you don't calm down, get away from me. That's how I feel because my body can only handle so much until before it gets mad and breaks. And then people are like, "Why the heck are you doing all that, Mariah?" Um, Funny thing is, actually, I think my that's one of the things on my paperwork. It's funny about hand and eye coordination actually was really bad as a child. I don't know if it's gotten better. Probably not. Maybe that's why I can't do any sports with balls in them. I mean, like tennis ball, just because like basketball, I'm not good with. I don't really like, but I don't like basketball. Um, just be clear, because that sounded really weird. But yeah. I do know that's a custom for kids to, well, not kids, autistic people, like autistics to be have poor hand eye coordination. It's just ironic because I really like running, but that has nothing to do with hand eye coordination. It's just one of my passions, I guess, one of my special interests. Any questions, Nick? Even though I'm sure you probably don't have any. If you do, I don't know what they are. I appreciate you for sticking around because it looks like everyone else left, which is fine. Well, that's all for you. I'm glad that you. I'm always glad when you get to come. Because like especially when because I read your comments and then they make me happy and then I get to interact with you in my live stream, so it makes me even happier because I know, of course, I know you're a real person, but that's not the point. It's different when you interact with someone that you're not in a live stream than when you interact with someone in their live stream because you really get to know them better. I know that's weird. Um, I hope you have an awesome week. And see you on Saturday if you're there. If not, you can always watch it later. Again, Please let me know what. I really like these streams so much. Honestly, these Monday streams are my favorite ones. Saturday streams are okay, but I like the Monday streams because I get to be more myself. Um, oh yes, Saturday stream is on what is it, ADHD? My bad. Autistic friendly jobs, and also please vote so I can know which article I should use for um March 15th live stream because I really like to start typing up those notes tomorrow, so that would be awesome. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Bye.